What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
1SC. Chapter 1 Ninja with 0% mission completion rate. Advertise here. Within the land of fire. In a dense forest, there is a ninja team walking under the shade of the trees. This is nothing strange at first. However, in such a ninja team. But there is a ninja, nearly 2 meters tall, with a sturdy back. No matter how you look at it, it doesn't match the thin ninjas nearby. Simply put on a coat. It can be clearly seen that this person has a tattoo that resembles a dragon scale. Just looking at it like this makes people feel scared. As if facing some peerless overlord. As for being so depressed, isn't it just a mission failure? What's the big deal? Looking at the team members around, they all looked helplessly low. The brawny man waved his hand indifferently. Seems to be comforting. But in this case, the captain of this ninja team was a little broken. You are ashamed to say, Qingshan Ryuyun, who do you think is the fault of this mission's failure? Well, a strong man called Qingshan Ryuyun. Faced with such an angry rebuke, there is no meaning to be angry. Captain, you need to know that you are Konoha's White Fang, and the prestige of Konoha Sannin is overwhelming. Isn't it just a mission failure? What a shit. That's right, Qingshan Ryuyun is the leader of the ninja team. It is Hatake Shumo, who is known as Konoha's White Fang. During the Second Ninja World War, with one-handed Hatake sword technique, powerfully shocking the ninja world. Let the major ninja villages have released such news. As long as you encounter Konoha's White Fang on the way to the mission, you can give up the mission and it will not be counted as a mission failure. It can be seen how intimidating the reputation of Konoha's White Fang is. Even in the same era, Konoha Sannin, who has become famous. In terms of prestige, they are no better than Konoha's White Fang. Quote. Hatake Shumo did not speak, but looked at Qingshan Ryuyun faintly. With such a compliment, Hatake said that he is really not happy at all. Hey. On the contrary, Qingshan Ryuyun, facing Hatake Shumo's death gaze, did not feel embarrassed, but laughed cheerfully. Hatake Shumo is a little weak. Before I met you, my mission completion rate was 100%. Although Hatake Tsukumo didn't care much about this. But when I thought, my mission completion rate was destroyed because of this guy in front of me. Hatake Tsukumo can resist not doing it directly, it's already pretty good. On the side, the other members of the ninja squad silently took 2 steps to the side. Expressed that he did not want to participate in such a discussion. After all, the 2 guys who are arguing can't bother them. Oh, what is the mission completion rate? Isn't my mission completion rate still 0%? I am not still a ninja. Qingshan Ryuyun waved his hand without embarrassment. Yes, from becoming a ninja to now, Qingshan Ryuyun's mission completion rate has always been 0%. If we say that Hatake Tsukumo's previous 100% task completion rate. If Konoha is a miracle, Qingshan Ryuyun's 0% task completion rate is also a miracle. Of course, this completion rate is also related to Qingshan Ryuyun never accepting low-level tasks. Your 0% task completion rate, you are very happy. Hatake Tsukumo roared loudly and was breached. Hatake, who has always been known for his calmness, can be so angry. It's also a kind of skill. At least the other 2 members of the team looked at Qingshan Ryuyun with a divine look. They had never seen Hatake before being so angry that he lost his mind. Can you tell me why you have to work on the client of this mission? Yes, the mission failed, not because the mission was too dangerous. On the contrary, the mission this time is very simple, it is a C-level escort mission. Don't say it's a ninja, there aren't even bandits blocking the way. But this task still failed. Because in the middle of the escort, Qingshan Ryuyun punched out, and the escorted target and client was gone. What? When asked in this way, Qingshan Ryuyun also looked incredible. That old man is squeaky and crooked, can't I just beat him? Are you a beating? 1 punch down, everyone is gone, what a beating. On the way of the escort, the old man being escorted was all babbled and talked non-stop. Either dislike this, or dislike that. The general idea is to reduce the reward for this mission. Hatake Shumo and others have obviously encountered many such things. They watched their noses watched their hearts, and none of them spoke to each other. But Qingshan Ryuyun can't stand it anymore. Lousy just wanted to do a simple escort mission, your bullshit is not over yet, right? Just like that, with a punch. The client was gone, and the escort mission naturally failed. Qingshan Ryuyun still maintains his 0% task completion rate. Aren't you a ninja? Endure it. Hatake Tsukumo didn't know how to persuade him. The person above arranged for Qingshan Ryuyun to join the White Fang team. Because I want Hatake Shumo to bring Qingshan Ryuyun around. But now, Hatake Tsukumo just wants to say that he really doesn't have this ability. Please don't fancy me anymore, I don't have this ability. I'm a ninja, so I have to endure that kind of babble. I scratched my head boringly, Qingshan Ryuyun didn't care much. Yes, to endure what ordinary people can't bear, this is a ninja. That won't work. Qingshan Ryuyun shook his head decisively. Hatake Tsukumo is even more incredible. If you can't do this, then you will be a ninja from the beginning. Then what are you doing as a ninja? Of course it is to bully people. What? Qingshan Ryuyun's serious answer caused Hatake Shuimao to break his defenses again. With a face full of confusion, I don't know if I heard it wrong. It seems to have heard something terrible. Qingshan Ryuyun didn't care, and said to himself. The purpose of becoming a ninja, of course, is because the identity of a ninja is so ridiculous. No one dares to say anything if you don't pay for food or anything. Quote. Hatake Shuimao was silent for a while, then looked back at Qingshan Ryuyun. You often don't pay for food. Yeah, what's wrong? Chapter 2. I really saw an acquaintance. Advertise here. Hiss. Hatake Shuimao did not speak, but inhaled the air conditioning. To die, my heart hurts a bit. Hatake Tsukumo suspected that if one day, he died. Maybe it's not because they are hostile to the ninjas in Ninja Village. Instead, he might have been pissed off by Qingshan Ryuyun. Why don't you take some low-level tasks like weeding, with a 0% completion rate of tasks, this too? What a shame. That won't work. Qingshan Ryuyun shook his head decisively and refused. I am the best ninja of the new generation in Konoha village. How can Konoha's future do those low-level tasks? Quote. Hatake Tsukumo can already imagine how dark Konoha's future will be. But for the first half of Qingshan Ryuyun's sentence, Hatake Shuimao did not refute. Together with the teammates, they also nodded in approval, without the slightest sneer. Because Qingshan Ryuyun's strength is really strong. Otherwise, why do you think Qingshan Ryuyun is? With a 0% mission completion rate, can you still be a ninja with peace of mind? It can be assigned to Konoha's best White Fang team at this stage. Of course it's because Qingshan Ryuyun is very strong. If we say that Hatake Tsukumo, Konoha's White Fang, is the only existence in the world of assassination. Qingshan Ryuyun can be said to be the strongest existence in singles. The Quan ninja world dare not say, because I have never fought. But in the whole Konoha, no one can defeat Qingshan Ryuyun in a heads-up situation. Even Sarutobi Hiruzen, who is now third Hokage. I dare not say that I can win Qingshan Ryuyun steadily in the case of heads-up. You wait and explain to Master Hokage by yourself. AC level escort mission failed. Hatake said that he was very weak. How is this? It was Qingshan Ryuyun. After hearing what Hatake Shuimao said, he couldn't help but complain. Shouldn't the team leader do the summary of the mission all the time? Captain White Fang, you are too irresponsible. In Konoha. That's why Qingshan Ryuyun has the courage and strength to talk to Hatake Shuimao like this. What do you think? Hatake Tsukumo responded with a death gaze. It's not all because of myself. All right. He chirped. Qingshan Ryuyun nodded perfunctorily. Don't worry, I know Mr. Hiruzen very well, he won't say anything. Ha ha. Hatake Tsukumo did not speak, but smiled perfunctorily. While talking and laughing, Qingshan Ryuyun, the ninja team, has returned to Konoha. At this time, the person responsible for guarding the gate of Konoha is not the familiar Chunin duo. It's a garrison member in charge of the Uchiha clan. Master White Fang, Master Ryuyun. Although the Uchiha clan, most of them have good eyes and low hands. But they are not a bunch of fools. They know who can be arrogant and humble in front of whom. Well, this is our proof of travel. Master White Fang has worked hard. As a result, the guard of the pass certificate didn't think much about it, and he let it go after signing it. But these words made the corners of Hatake's mouth twitched. Is this mocking? The mission failed, what's so hard? He sighed silently. Hatake Shuimao didn't think much. After walking into Konoha, he first said to the other two members of the team. You go back first. Report the task summary, you don't need all the team members to go together. Yes. Qingshan Ryuyun immediately responded. Turn around and prepare to leave. Hatake Shuimao, who rolled his eyes, stopped directly in front of Qingshan Ryuyun. Where do you want to go? Haha, I seem to have seen an acquaintance. For this bad reason, Hatake Tsukumo's Byakugan is almost up to the sky. Where are the acquaintances? There are no acquaintances, Qingshan Ryuyun just wants to slip away first. He glanced around, as if he had noticed something, his eyes stopped in one direction. I really saw an acquaintance. Following Qingshan Ryuyun's gaze, after looking over it together. Hatake Tsukumo frowned first, as if he had seen something interesting. Slightly staggered his position and did not continue to block Qingshan Ryuyun. Tsunade, I heard that you don't have any tasks recently. Why don't we go have a meal together? On the street, a Konoha shinobi dressed as Jonin. Walking by the side of a figure with a full face. On Tsunade's very pretty face, there was more impatience at this time. Kaido Jonin, I work in Konoha Hospital, and I am usually very busy, okay. Don't bother me. Who wants to eat with you? With this time, I might as well go gambling too, I know you very well. It's fine. Becoming Kaido Jonin's ninja by Tsunade seemed quite patient. The face is gentle, without the slightest meaning of irritation. Then Tsunade, when will you be free? I have, all your grandpa. Before Kaido Dan could finish speaking, Qingshan Ryuyun's voice suddenly came out. Pung. Everyone only felt a flower in front of their eyes, and then only heard the sound of pung. Kaido Dan's figure was directly blown out. Was smashed into a river not far away. Those who dare to tease Lousy, look for death. Anyone dare to tease, no one knows Konoha, Tsunade is from Lousy. Ryuyun. Seeing Ryuyun's appearance, Tsunade was first overjoyed. Then, as if remembering something, the pretty face collapsed in an instant. Why are you here? Just passing by, don't you see you now? At this time, Hitaki Sakumo also came over. Tsunade nodded slightly. Although Konoha's White Fang's name is loud, Senju Tsunade, as the granddaughter of first Hokage, has a very detached position in Konoha. Who was that idiot just now? Qingshan Ryuyun didn't care about this. He took Tsunade's shoulders carelessly and looked at Kaido Dan, who was struggling to swim out of the river, not far away. Facing Qingshan Ryuyun's actions, Tsunade just earned a little bit. Seeing no effect, I didn't care. Chapter 3. When do you need to care about other people's opinions? Advertise here. What an idiot, he is Konoha's Jonin, who has the title of spiritual ninja. Tsunade turned Byakugan angrily and said, not speaking for Kaido Dan. It's just that you, a Konoha ninja, don't know about the more famous ninjas in Konoha. Is this appropriate? Oh, spiritual ninja, what a bluff. Said nonchalantly, looking at Kaido Dan who has walked out of the river. Qingshan Ryuyun said directly, then do you want to fight Lousy? What kind of spiritual ninja, let you see your ancestor with a punch? Master Ryuyun. Kaido Dan obviously knew Qingshan Ryuyun. A smile more ugly than crying appeared on his face. But after looking at Tsunade, Kaido Dan adjusted his breathing slightly. Master Ryuyun, the pursuit of happiness is the power that each of us has. You can't stop us from pursuing happiness just because you are strong. This is righteous. But both Tsunade and Hitaki frowned at it. This means, doesn't it mean that you want to put Qingshan Ryuyun on the fire? If this matter spreads out, Qingshan Ryuyun is likely to get the title of bullying. Especially now, there are more and more people watching around. Kaido Jonin. You. Tsunade pointed at Kaido Dan in disgust. Although my mother is a bit contradictory with Qingshan Ryuyun. But how can this be the man chosen by the old lady, dare you say that? As the person involved, Qingshan Ryuyun smiled directly. Are you reasoning with me? Yes. Somewhat surprised, but Kaido Dan nodded seriously. Excuse me. Hearing this, Qingshan Ryuyun smiled more brilliantly. I am a person who never makes sense. You can try to make sense with my fist. Holding Tsunade with one hand, and with the other hand, a piece of muscle like fine iron was stretched out. With a wanton smile, he looked at Kaido Dan. You. Facing such Qingshan Ryuyun, Kaido Dan took a half step back in fear. But seeing that there are so many people around, even if the man in front of him is strong, he dare not really do anything. Master Ryuyun, do you want to bully people by relying on your own strength? What a big black pot. Only, yes, Qingshan Ryuyun admitted. You. Kaido Dan pointed at Qingshan Ryuyun with astonishment. Most ninjas in the ninja world care about fame, like Qingshan Ryuyun, Kaido Dan has never seen him before. Quote. On the other hand, Hitaki Shumao and Tsunade, facing Qingshan Ryuyun's unreasonable and brave answer, seemed very helpless. However, this is in line with Qingshan Ryuyun's usual personality. Master Ryuyun, what else does Kaido Dan want to say? But this is, boom, an invisible Haki, centered on Qingshan Ryuyun, burst out. Under the monstrous hegemonic aura, the surrounding people who were originally talking about kneeled directly to the ground. Some can't hold it, even fainted directly. You. Even Kaido Dan, who was facing Qingshan Ryuyun, fell to his knees in shock by the sudden explosion of Haki. The forehead was covered with cold sweat. Qingshan Ryuyun has been acting in my life, when do I need to explain it to others? Withdrawing his hand, under the influence of Haki, Qingshan Ryuyun looks like an ancient demon god. Slowly walked in front of Kaido Dan. With each step, Kaido Dan's heart beats involuntarily. I'm not really going to die. Holding Kaido Dan's head, Qingshan Ryuyun directly lifted the opponent into the air. Compared with Qingshan Ryuyun, Kaido Dan at this time is like a weak child. Next time, dare to jump in front of Lousy, Lousy will make you die miserably, understand? You. Facing close at hand, under these undisguised threatening gazes. Kaido Dan didn't know what to say. How could there be such a person? Are you the ninja of Konoha or the ninja of Cloud Shinobi Village, a fool? Understood. Noting Kaido Dan's silence, Qingshan Ryuyun yelled directly. Understand and understand. Kaido Dan nodded quickly. Just kidding, if you don't say a word. Kaido Dan has no doubt that Qingshan Ryuyun will really hit him with a punch. Humph. With a cold snort, as if throwing a piece of insignificant garbage, Kaido Dan was thrown aside by Qingshan Ryuyun. What to look at? Facing the gaze from the people around, Qingshan Ryuyun directly yelled at him. Lousy is Qingshan Ryuyun. If you have any comments, just act as Lousy's face and say, if you are directly by me, you will talk about me behind your back. Humph. Speaking of this, Qingshan Ryuyun stunned. A pair of angry eyes flashed a faint red light. The aura that belonged solely to the overlord became even more violent. Boom. There was a muffled thunder from the originally clear sky. A group of pedantic villagers, Qingshan Ryuyun has never had a good impression of them, and does not need these people to be around him. Such Qingshan Ryuyun made the surrounding villagers inevitably take a few steps back. Even if he is not convinced, no one dares to show it. Seeing this, Qingshan Ryuyun smiled disdainfully. Turned around, took Tsunade's shoulders, and walked towards the Hokage building with Hataki. As soon as Qingshan Ryuyun left, the hegemonic aura slowed the news. This lord, it's really different. Someone wants to say something, but they don't know how to say it. After all, in the past, ninjas, in order to maintain their reputation. When dealing with the villagers, they are very kind. Like Qingshan Ryuyun, he unscrupulously said threatening words. It's really the first time I saw you, as if you were going to hit someone if you didn't agree. Chapter 4 Genin is the strongest. Advertise here. Ryuyun, you have to converge a little occasionally. As he walked on the road, Hataki was helplessly persuading him. Although I don't think my persuasion is useful. But Hataki Shumao still hopes that Qingshan Ryuyun can make a change. Hey, what is there to converge? Regarding this, Qingshan Ryuyun didn't care much about it. Laozi became a ninja in order to be able to bully people better. If you become a ninja and you have to be bullied by others, then I will be a fart ninja. Quote. Wrong reasoning. Absolute crookedness. When did the ninja exist to bully others? It's alright. It's better to report to the old man Hiruzen, and then go to eat. I'm hungry. He waved his hand. Qingshan Ryuyun obviously didn't want to continue struggling. You know you are hungry too. Single quote. Hataki Shumao didn't say anything, but talked about it. Qingshan Ryuyun said. If it weren't for you, it wouldn't be delayed until now. You just finished the task. Tsunade, who was clasped by Qingshan Ryuyun's shoulders, asked curiously. This question surprised Qingshan Ryuyun a bit. I haven't been in Konoha these days, you don't even know. Can it be said directly, because I have lost a bet several times recently. In order to avoid debt collection, Tsunade has been hiding at home all the time. Didn't he come out? What about the reward for the task? Decisively changed the subject, raised his hand, and was ready to pay for Qingshan Ryuyun's mission this time. Anyway, Qingshan Ryuyun usually doesn't spend money. Why don't you pay the old lady to pay off the debt? The mission failed. When saying this, Qingshan Ryuyun was not half ashamed. Failed. Tsunade's face was full of surprise, and he looked at Qingshan Ryuyun, who had a natural face. Turning his head again, he looked at Hataki Shumao next to Qingshan Ryuyun. Perhaps because of the shame, Hataki turned his head and did not dare to look at Tsunade at all. Seeing this, Tsunade basically understood. It won't be you again, let's start with your own task delegate. Looking at the posture, this is obviously not the first time this happened. Right, is there any problem? Quote. Even though Tsunade is usually carefree, but it is not as bold as Qingshan Ryuyun. Just because of your 0% mission completion rate, I am ashamed to say that my brother has no ninja talent. Speaking of this, Tsunade is angry. This is the contradiction between Qingshan Ryuyun and Tsunade. In fact, Qingshan Ryuyun was originally a traverser who came to this world through traversing. It has been more than 10 years. Because I know that Tsunade's younger brother, Senju Nawaki, will die in a mission in the future. So when I saw Senju Nawaki the first side, Qingshan Ryuyun bluntly said that the other party does not have the slightest ninja talent. Don't be a ninja, just stay at home. The most important thing is that Senju Nawaki really listened. In this way, the contradiction between Qingshan Ryuyun and Tsunade came. Well, ninja is so dangerous, I also want to protect Nawaki. You are so embarrassed to say. Get more angry, okay. Tsunade worked hard to earn, trying to get away from Qingshan Ryuyun's arm. But after seeing no effect, Tsunade could only stare at a pair of nice eyes, staring at Qingshan Ryuyun. Do you know how much I spent on cultivating Nawaki? As the last man of the Senju clan, Senju Tsunade has always cultivated Nawaki as the future of the Senju clan. But it's better now. Qingshan Ryuyun's words directly caused Senju Nawaki to give up being a ninja. It's strange that Tsunade is not angry. What's the big deal? With an excellent brother-in-law like me taking him, even if he can't become a ninja, no one in the ninja world dares to bully him. Hey, we are still breaking up, can you be more serious? This is faceless and skinless. Obviously it should be in a state of breaking up now. But Qingshan Ryuyun doesn't care at all, as before, just do whatever he wants. What broke up? I didn't agree. I don't care anyway, you are my person. While speaking, Qingshan Ryuyun turned his head directly and slapped Tsunade's face fiercely. Ha ha ha, he laughed happily. Tsunade feels that he should be angry at this time. But in the face of Qingshan Ryuyun like this, he couldn't get angry. Instead, he also laughed. You guy, seriously, I'm still angry. Ha ha ha, let's go. After reporting to the old man Hiruzen, find a place to eat. Qingshan Ryuyun didn't care at all, he held Tsunade's shoulders with a big smile, and continued walking. Looking at Hataki Shumao on the side, he directly rolled up his blind eyes. So, do young people now fall in love like this? Fortunately, Hataki Sakumo thought that he already had a son, and he was not afraid of being shown. Failed again. In Hokage's office, the middle-aged Sarutobi Hiruzen who doesn't have so many wrinkles on his face. He was smoking dry cigarettes, and in his calm eyes, there was some helplessness. This kind of task report, although outside of reason. But it can be considered as expected. Anyway, all the reasons for the failure of the task that Qingshan Ryuyun did were Qingshan Ryuyun himself. Sarutobi Hiruzen is used to it. Ryuyun, with your 0% mission completion rate, it is difficult for me to promote you to Jonin. If in terms of strength, Qingshan Ryuyun's position in Konoha has long been an elite Jonin. But there is no way, can't stand Qingshan Ryuyun has never completed a mission. This also led to that Qingshan Ryuyun is still a genin now. It's just that no one would really regard Qingshan Ryuyun as genin. Nothing, genin is the strongest in Konoha. This is the truth, Konoha's hidden powerhouses. One is counted as one, and the status is genin, but all of them are ridiculously strong. Quote. It's a pity that Sarutobi Hiruzen and others don't understand this. He looked at Qingshan Ryuyun speechlessly. When is genin a proud identity? Forget it. Tsunade, if you have time, please persuade Ryuyun. Seeing my own words are useless. Sarutobi Hiruzen waved his hand and said to Tsunade. Chapter 5 All my friends. Advertise here. Haha, old man, do you really value me? Tsunade smirked. If Qingshan Ryuyun can be persuaded to succeed. Is that still Qingshan Ryuyun? Quote. Sarutobi Hiruzen also knows that this is a bit difficult. He waved his hand helplessly, and said no more. That's all right. You go first. As soon as Sarutobi Hiruzen said, Qingshan Ryuyun directly took Tsunade's shoulders and left with a big swing. With a face full of carelessness, as if it was just said that it was not Qingshan Ryuyun himself at all. Go. I'm hungry. Oh, White Fang is better. When only Sarutobi Hiruzen was left in the office, he sighed inexplicably. My 3 apprentices, Senju Tsunade, Jiraiya and Orochimaru. Although all have become famous, but no one is obedient. Not to mention Tsunade and Jiraiya. This Orochimaru, used to be Sarutobi Hiruzen's most satisfied disciple. But recently I don't know why, after experiencing the Second Ninja War. Sarutobi Hiruzen found that he couldn't understand this disciple. In comparison, Hitachi Shumo, Konoha's White Fang, is actually Sarutobi Hiruzen's most powerful man. The task completion rate is 100%, and there will never be any complaints. It's a pity that Hitachi is loyal to Konoha, not Sarutobi Hiruzen. Fortunately, it is not yet uncontrollable. So although Sarutobi Hiruzen is a little emotional, he still doesn't really make anything. But over time, this day is coming. At this time, Qingshan Ryuyun, after leaving the Hokage building, took Tsunade and Hitachi to the commercial street of Konoha. Come on, what do you want to eat? I'll treat you. Neither Tsunade nor Hitachi are picky people. I also can. It does not matter. Such a casual answer surprised Qingshan Ryuyun and gave them a look. You are really good to feed. It doesn't matter. Qingshan Ryuyun took Tsunade and Hitachi Shumao to a barbecue restaurant that looked good. This is the territory of the Akamaiki clan. In fact, most of the yakiniku restaurants in Konoha are run by the Akamaiki family. Boss. After entering the store, Qingshan Ryuyun greeted loudly. The owner of the barbecue restaurant who was still smiling and settled the bill, when he saw that the visitor was Qingshan Ryuyun. The smile froze instantly. The eyelids twitched. That, Lord Ryuyun. What is it trembling? Seeing the boss shivering while walking towards this side. Qingshan Ryuyun waved his hand and said, I have a treat today and arrange a nice private room for us. No problem. After seeing Tsunade and Hitachi Shumao next to Qingshan Ryuyun. Even if the boss wanted to refuse, he didn't have the guts. Just about to go straight, the store owner suddenly pulled Qingshan Ryuyun quietly. You go with the waiter, I will come later. Qingshan Ryuyun first waved his hand to Tsunade and Hitachi Shumao. Then I looked at the store owner. Tsunade and Hitachi did not doubt anything. When the store owner and Qingshan Ryuyun are left here. The store owner said with a sad face. Well, Lord Ryuyun, do you really want to treat this dinner? If it is a normal customer, the store owner will naturally welcome it. However, Qingshan Ryuyun never pays for meals. The most important thing is the strength of Qingshan Ryuyun, even if the Akamaiki clan has 2 alliances, the Yamanaka clan and the Nara clan. But it can't beat Qingshan Ryuyun. Boss, you are boring. Aren't we friends? Qingshan Ryuyun looks a little dissatisfied. I took over the store owner directly. I'm your friend, what happened to you asking me to eat? Quote. Do you think of me as a friend? Qingshan Ryuyun's eyes narrowed slightly. The shop owner who was watching shuddered involuntarily. Of course it's a friend, Ryuyun-sama, if you can come to my place for dinner, that is to give me face, how can I collect your money? That's right, everyone is good friends. Qingshan Ryuyun smiled and patted the other person on the shoulder. Left in stride. With a helpless sigh, there is no way. If it really makes trouble, even if Qingshan Ryuyun smashes this store. The last way to deal with it will not be the painless reprimands of 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. Don't think too much about other things. Don't look at me. Eat directly. Don't worry, the boss here is my friend and doesn't charge any money. Upon coming over, Qingshan Ryuyun swaggered and sat down beside Tsunade. He said indifferently, quote, quote. With this, Tsunade and Haki turned over Byakugan together. This so-called friendship is yours, right? After a meal, the shop owner smiled and gave it away. Qingshan Ryuyun and others left. Then Ryuyun, Tsunade, I'll go back first. Go, go. Qingshan Ryuyun waved his hand with disgust. You have been a light bulb for such a long time, don't you have any points in your heart? Quote, quote. Hatake Shumao did not speak, just rolled his eyes and glanced at Qingshan Ryuyun, then turned and left. Hatake knows what kind of person Qingshan Ryuyun is after getting along for so long. Naturally, I won't get angry because of such things. Why don't you go to me tonight? Looking at Tsunade on the side, Qingshan Ryuyun raised his eyebrows and pointed in the direction of his home. I'm not a kid anymore, how could I not understand the meaning of this sentence? I wanted to agree with the trend. But Tsunade suddenly realized that he and Qingshan Ryuyun should still be in the Cold War period. No, if you just agree to it, doesn't it appear that you are too coaxing? At least I have to coax a few more times. Don't go, unless you. Oh, I'll go back now, a little sleepy. Chapter 6 The Strongest Creatures by Sea, Land and Air. Advertise here. You, looking at Qingshan Ryuyun, who turned away without hesitation after speaking. Tsunade was stunned. Under what circumstances, shouldn't you say a few words to comfort yourself at this time? This bastard. Staring at Qingshan Ryuyun's back, Tsunade murmured viciously. Without hesitation, he ran after him directly. Jumped onto Qingshan Ryuyun's back. Aren't you angry? Qingshan Ryuyun didn't feel surprised, holding Tsunade with both hands. According to Qingshan Ryuyun, Tsunade's Byakugan is almost up to the sky. Knowing that I am angry, then why don't you come to coax me? Do you need others to coax you, Tsunade? Just kidding. Who is this? The granddaughter of first Hokage, the medical sacred hand of ninja, Princess Katsuyu Tsunade Heim in Konoha Sanin. Need someone else's coax? Hey, your answer is pretty good. Although the tone of voice is still as blunt as before, Tsunade's attitude has obviously eased a lot. That night, Qingshan Ryuyun smiled when he looked at Tsunade beside him. Aren't you obediently obedient? No longer thinking about it, Qingshan Ryuyun settled down and began to contact his own plugin. Yes, as a traverser, Qingshan Ryuyun has his own plugin. More than 10 years ago, Qingshan Ryuyun traveled to this world as a civilian orphan. No money, no background, not even the qualifications to enter the ninja academy. And at this moment, the plugin is turned on. Let Qingshan Ryuyun have the power to change destiny. God-level template system. The first template. Four Emperors Kaido. Fit. 63%. Template ability. Advanced Armament Haki. Advanced Observation Haki. Advanced Conqueror's Haki. Devil Fruit. Bloodline. None. The template data is very simple. But the content is not simple at all. It is precisely because of inheriting the character template of Four Emperors Kaido, which is known as the strongest creature in the sea, land and air. That's why Qingshan Ryuyun has the current strength. The physique of an immortal monster, a powerful force. This is still without using Devil Fruit. The template of Four Emperors Kaido, except for the name of Devil Fruit, is actually a kind of fish and fruit fantasy beast. It's a bit unbearable to look straight. But in general, this is still very strong. Qingshan Ryuyun's biggest dream is to become the strongest creature in this land, sea and air. If the template fit of Four Emperors Kaido wants to increase. Only through constant fighting. It took more than 10 years for Qingshan Ryuyun to make this fit to over 60%. The more difficult it gets later. A long way to go. Thinking of this, Qingshan Ryuyun sighed inexplicably. Qingshan Ryuyun's attitude towards strength has always been rigorous. Because Qingshan Ryuyun has always believed that his own strength is the foundation of everything. People who rely on others will not be on the stage after all. Your hands. While Qingshan Ryuyun was thinking silently, Tsunade's ill-tempered voice suddenly came from his ears. A little embarrassing. Because while thinking, Qingshan Ryuyun's hands have always been dishonest. You have to believe that my hand also has its own ideas. You can't stop it from realizing its dreams. Roll, Tsunade said angrily. Now I found out that, apart from having a thick skin, Qingshan Ryuyun didn't even blink his eyes when fooling people. My mother really believed in your evil back then. I was fooled by you. Ha ha ha. Doesn't that mean that I am great? Whispering sound. Turning to Byakugan, Tsunade obviously didn't want to struggle with this issue. On the second day, Qingshan Ryuyun had just washed and went downstairs when he saw Tsunade preparing breakfast. I said, if you want to poison to death, I'll just say it, don't do these bells and whistles. Looking at Tsunade scrambling in the kitchen, Qingshan Ryuyun couldn't help but say. It's not that some people prepare breakfast badly. It's really Tsunade's cooking skills, it's really not that great. The first time I tried, if it weren't for this undead physique. Qingshan Ryuyun doubted whether he would be poisoned to death. How did I know it would be like this? Obviously I have been studying very hard. Feeling aggrieved, Tsunade threw the tableware aside with his backhand. Really, This is the cooking material, so why are you not obedient? It is pleasing to the eye when watching others do it. But when it's my turn, I become frantic. And it's the same thing whether you can eat what you make. Okay, after all, it's my own person. When I need to coax a few sentences, I still have to coax it. In the future, we can go out to eat. The owner of the breakfast shop is my friend. With this calculation, the owners of all Konoha restaurants are your friends. Yes, Qingshan Ryuyun felt nothing at all. Nodded solemnly. If they are not friends, why would they invite themselves to dinner? Just friends. Qingshan Ryuyun's face. Tsunade is not the first time I have met. So I just flipped a Byakugan, much lazy to struggle. Just when Qingshan Ryuyun and Tsunade were arguing about going out for breakfast. Senju Nawaki, dressed in chunin, ran over quickly. Sister. Brother-in-law. Oh, so it's my brother-in-law, do you want to have breakfast together? Seeing each other, Qingshan Ryuyun greeted with a smile. Although Senju Nawaki did not become a ninja and performed a mission, but chose to stay in the ninja school and become a chunin teacher. Although it is very different from the Tsunade plan, it is not bad. Brother-in-law, you are eating, isn't it just a light bulb when I go? Nawaki also smiled and said. This is what Qingshan Ryuyun likes most about Nawaki, sensible. On the side, Tsunade couldn't help but flip through Byakugan. Until now, Tsunade still has a great resentment towards Nawaki becoming a chunin teacher. Or talk about it, if you come here, what's the matter? Correct. After being reminded like this, Nawaki reacted. Said quickly, sister, brother-in-law, go to the Hokage building with me soon. I heard that the second ninja war is about to begin again. What? Chapter 7. Who do you think Lousy is? Advertise here. Boom. As soon as I came to the Hokage building, Tsunade directly passed the door of Hokage's office and said unceremoniously. Old man, what the hell is going on? Shouldn't the second ninja world war be over? You know, this battle of ninja world has been playing for several years. It's not just those civilians who can't hold it. Even these ninjas don't have the idea to fight anymore. The war has subsided for some time. Everyone thought that this second ninja world war would follow this calm. When it ends directly, unexpectedly, the fight started again. Tsunade. There are not many people in Konoha with this way of opening the door and the tone of speech. Looking at Tsunade angrily, Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't think much. There are already many people standing in Hokage's office at this time. The patriarchs of the major ninja tribes, some famous jonin in Konoha. The other two of Konoha Sanin, Jiraiya and Orochimaru also came. The two elders of Konoha and Shimura Danzo, who was the darkness of Konoha. After all, war is not a trivial matter. But they don't know each other. Tsunade. No one felt anything about Tsunade's behavior. After all, the identity of Tsunade is here, the granddaughter of first Hokage. This halo is too dazzling. But Udatane Kaharu, one of the elders, after seeing Tsunade's act of no respect for Hokage like this, I couldn't help but knocked on the table and reprimanded. Pay attention to your identity, you are just a ninja of Konoha now. How can a ninja dare to talk to Hokage like that? What? Said in surprise. Tsunade looked shocked, but he did not expect that Udatane Kaharu would dare to reprimand himself. However, even if Udatane Kaharu hates it again, the identity of this elder Konoha still needs to be cared about. What? You are Konoha's ninja, can't I scold you yet? Udatane Kaharu's eyes flashed with pride. Unlike Shimura Danzo, Udatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura do not have the ambition of Shimura Danzo, nor do they have the ability. What I like most is the awe of others. Even if Tsunade is the granddaughter of first Hokage. Anyway, first Hokage is gone. As Konoha's elder, I reprimand you a few words, don't you want a ninja? Who are you scolding, old woman? Just when Tsunade was a little bit angry, Qingshan Ryuyun's faint voice came from outside the door. Why did you come? Looking at Qingshan Ryuyun who walked in. A sense of security radiated from the heart. Originally feeling very depressed, she smiled. Who made you run so fast? Shrugged, Qingshan Ryuyun also looked helpless. Sister, you really can't blame brother-in-law, when you ran, you didn't care about us at all. Nawaki who followed, said helplessly. Facing the news of the Ninja World War, it's weird if you don't hurry up. Tsunade couldn't help but flip through Byakugan. Upon hearing the news of the Ninja War, Tsunade rushed over without even thinking about it. At this point, Tsunade is not as indifferent as Qingshan Ryuyun. Qingshan Ryuyun, who do you think you are talking to? Qingshan Ryuyun and Tsunade chatted like no one. Udatane Kaharu, who was sitting in the seat of elder, became more gloomy. I called myself old as soon as I came in, and now I still ignore myself like this. Isn't this the elder of Konoha in his eyes? What? Qingshan Ryuyun's answer is a little weird. Do you old stuff want to die? You, as the elder of Konoha, it is not an exaggeration to say that he is a high-ranking elder. When did Udatane Kaharu hear that others dare to say that to himself? Do you still want to be a ninja? Believe me or not, you can't be a ninja. As the elder of Konoha, Udatane Kaharu really has such power. Unfortunately, Udatane Kaharu, who was in anger, did not notice. After I said this sentence. In Hokage's office, most people who knew Qingshan Ryuyun laughed. Others may abide by the rules, but Qingshan Ryuyun never abides by the rules. Ah, smiled disdainfully. Qingshan Ryuyun really didn't expect Utatane Kaharu to threaten himself with this. Who do you think I am? The eyes are slightly dignified, and the pupils gradually become dragon-shaped vertical pupils. The faint crimson light gleamed. The dragon scale tattoo on his body has become more substantial. Qingshan Ryuyun never explained his devil fruit ability. In the eyes of others, Qingshan Ryuyun possesses a kind of blood succession boundary similar to beastization. Anyway, the blood succession boundary of the ninth world has many strange things, everything. No one doubts this explanation. Boom. The atmosphere in Hokage's office began to be solemn. A few muffled thunders rang out in the sky outside the building. Qingshan Ryuyun is just like this, looking directly at Utatane Kaharu. Lousy. But Qingshan Ryuyun. Boom. The floor under my feet started to rattle. The mighty Conqueror's Haki, locked in Utatane Kaharu. The face that was originally domineering, now there is more fear. Pointing tremblingly at Qingshan Ryuyun. You know, although it is the elder of Konoha. But Utatane Kaharu's combat power at its peak was no more than the elite Jonin. Can you not be directly stunned and fainted by Conqueror's Haki? It is already Qingshan Ryuyun's convergence. Will die. Will definitely die. This guy in front of me is really killing himself. The fierce ones are afraid of the horizontal ones are afraid of death. Honestly, Utatane Kaharu was a little bit confused. Don't you want lousy not to be a ninja? While speaking, Qingshan Ryuyun took off the Konoha forehead protector on his body. Hold it with one hand and place it in front of Utatane Kaharu. If you have the ability, you can take it away now and wait and see. I will make Konoha know when to turn to bed before the sun rises tomorrow. What's the meaning? Of course it's genocide. If you don't agree, you will destroy the clan. This is the truest Qingshan Ryuyun. Never afraid of anyone's threats. Because the people who threatened me are gone. Chapter 8 really bad for his grandpa. Advertise here. Looking at the Konoha forehead protector in front of you. Utatane Kaharu is a little uncertain. After all, in the current situation, if Utatane Kaharu doesn't take it, then the face of being an elder becomes a joke. If you take it, Utatane Kaharu has no doubts, this guy in front of him. I really dared to destroy my own family of going to bed. I just heard that Qingshan Ryuyun is very fierce and reckless. But after seeing it once, Utatane Kaharu just wants to slap himself now. You said is it not good to sit on the side honestly? Saying fart. No way, Utatane Kaharu could only look at the people next to him with a help-seeking gaze. Ahem. That, as a teammate who has been with him for several years, Mitokado Homura still wants to say something for Utatane Kaharu. But before the words were finished, Qingshan Ryuyun stared at him. You want to die too? Quote. I shut up instantly and sat down honestly. Finally, Sarutobi Hiruzen, the third Hokage, will play the role of peacemaker. Alright, all are my pillars of Konoha. Take a step back, Kaharu, just say a few words. Ryuyun, your words. Looking at Qingshan Ryuyun, Sarutobi Hiruzen was a little helpless. Converge a little bit. To Qingshan Ryuyun, Sarutobi Hiruzen is still very tolerant. No way, the strong are privileged. The most important thing is that Qingshan Ryuyun has never shown any ambitions other than challenging the strong. In Konoha, there is no power. Unlike Hitaki Tsukumo, the captain of Anbu who belongs to Hokage directly manages the entire Anbu. In addition to arrogance, no money for meals, 0% completion rate of tasks. Qingshan Ryuyun has nothing else to do. Such a subordinate, Sarutobi Hiruzen does not want to give up, at least not yet. Whispering sound. After all, we still have to mix in Konoha at this stage. Since Sarutobi Hiruzen gives face so much, Qingshan Ryuyun doesn't mind giving face to the other party. After a disdainful glance at Utatane Kaharu, Qingshan Ryuyun regained his aura. After the powerful overlord aura disappeared, the atmosphere in the entire office has eased a lot. If there are meetings with this old woman in the future, don't find me. Really bad luck for his grandfather. Tui. Quote. Talking, I spit out sputum directly at Utatane Kaharu's feet. This is too bullying. Utatane Kaharu was so angry. Do you have any opinion? Quote. It's just that Qingshan Ryuyun looked over, Utatane Kaharu could only choose to be silent. Forget it. Don't bother with this reckless man. Utatane Kaharu can only comfort himself inwardly. The majesty of this elder Konoha really became a nonsense here in Qingshan Ryuyun. The patriarchs of the big ninja clan present admire Qingshan Ryuyun. After all, even they are very dissatisfied with these few elders who don't understand the ass and always give orders. It's just that they don't have the strength of Qingshan Ryuyun to do such a thing. Ahem. I feel that the theme of this memory is a bit off the track. Sarutobi Hiruzen cleared his throat hastily, so that everyone could focus on watching. Okay, let's discuss it first. Let's talk about the war in the ninja world. After being said so, everyone remembered. The original purpose of gathering together was to discuss the war in the ninja world. Inexplicably attracted by other things. Old man, what the hell is going on? Shouldn't the ninja world war be over? When asked so, Sarutobi Hiruzen was also helpless. If it can, Sarutobi Hiruzen doesn't want the ninja war to continue. Cloud Shinobi Village and Iwagakure are over, but this Sand Shinobi Village. It's very annoying. Having said that, Sarutobi Hiruzen turned his head and glanced in the direction of Hataki Tsukumo. In addition to Third Kazekage, there are thousands of generations of mother-in-laws in Sand Shinobi Village. Even if Third Kazekage wanted to cease the war. But if the mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations disagrees, it is useless. You know, the son and daughter-in-law of a 1,000-generation mother-in-law. They all died under Hataki Tsukumo's assassination technique, and the 1,000-generation mother-in-law would be hell if she could agree to a truce. There is news from Sand Shinobi Village. Either we will hand over Hataki Shumo or we will continue to fight. That dead old woman, Tsunade and Kai Dai mother-in-law have fought against each other many times. Naturally, it is understood that only a 1,000-generation mother-in-law can put forward this condition. How can this be? And Qingshan Ryuyun said directly loudly. Ryuyun. This loud retort moved Hataki Shumo a little bit. For Konoha, Hataki himself is not afraid of sacrifice. At least some conditions should be made. This is Konoha's white fang, it's very valuable. Quote. I just watched Qingshan Ryuyun's gaze more moved. Now Hataki Sakumo's eyes are so bitter. Give me back my touch, bastard. Of course, Hataki Shumo can also understand that Qingshan Ryuyun is just joking about himself. But if this is the case, Mitokado Homura, who is also one of the elders, agrees. In order to avoid war, it doesn't really matter to hand over White Fang. Feeling annoyed, everyone is accustomed to the shame of the two elders Konoha. Qingshan Ryuyun gave an angry look. I can't as well hand over Elder Konoha directly. Doesn't this reflect our Konoha and respect them Sand Shinobi Village? After being said that, Mitokado Homura was taken aback first, and then decisively shut up. Mitokado Homura swears that when Qingshan Ryuyun speaks again, he will never answer. Every time he is ashamed, it is himself. Well, don't think about things like handing over people. Konoha is not so weak yet. Sarutobi Hiruzen of this period has just become third Hokage. Righteous and vigorous. How could one agree to such shameful conditions as Sand Shinobi Village? Having said this, Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at everyone in front of him in a deep voice. Everyone, prepare for the final battle with Sand Shinobi Village. Suddenly, the originally relaxed atmosphere became solemn. Chapter 9 Mount Myoboku. Toad Sage Jiraiya. Advertise here. Tsunade is the commander-in-chief of this war. Sand Shinobi Village is good at using poison. And Senju Tsunade is a famous medical master in the ninja world. The best thing is to detoxify, it is the best to deal with Sand Shinobi Village. No problem. Tsunade agreed without thinking. Sister. Nawaki looked at her elder sister with some worry. After all, war is not a joke. If you are not careful, people may be gone. Fart. There's me. Qingshan Ryuyun on the side patted Nawaki's shoulder directly after seeing Nawaki's worries. Then he said to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Then add me. Good. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded decisively. Originally, Sarutobi Hiruzen planned to let Qingshan Ryuyun go, but he didn't know how to say it. Now Qingshan Ryuyun takes the initiative to raise this point, and Sarutobi Hiruzen will naturally not refuse. Tsunade on the side turned his head and smiled at Qingshan Ryuyun. Thanks. Thank you. Let you go to the battlefield alone, I don't worry. Besides, on the battlefield, you can already face many strong people. At that time, the fit of your character template can be increased again. Then count me. At this time, Hataki Tsukumo also stood up. After all, this matter can be regarded as caused by me. In fact, no one blamed Hataki for this incident. After all, this is the fate of the ninja. Yeah, with your help from Hataki, I can rest assured. Sarutobi Hiruzen did not refuse, nodded and agreed to Hataki Tsukumo participating in the war. After all, Hataki is calm, and Sarutobi Hiruzen is also relieved. What does this mean? Is Hataki Tsukumo worthy of trust? Isn't the old lady worthy of trust? But this kind of conversation made Tsunade a little dissatisfied. What this said, it's like someone who doesn't understand anything. What do you think? Sarutobi Hiruzen gave Tsunade angrily. Although Tsunade is also very serious when facing business affairs. But during the war, Tsunade can just bet on two bets. The old problems are old and can't be corrected. If Sarutobi Hiruzen can trust Tsunade completely, then it would be a hell. Whispering sound. Tsunade didn't refute, but just said angrily. Later, Sarutobi Hiruzen arranged a few ninjas, then summoned some ninjas, followed Tsunade's dispatch, and went to the battlefield together. Originally, Jiraiya and Orochimaru wanted to go too. But it's impossible for all the powerhouses to rush to the battlefield of Sand Shinobi Village. Even though Iwagakure and Cloud Shinobi Village have declared a truce. But it is hard to guarantee that they will not turn back, so we still have to keep some strong people to sit in Konoha. After leaving the Hokage building, Hataki Tsukumo left first. After all, he is going to the battlefield next. Hataki Shumo is going back to bid farewell to his family. At this time, Jiraiya and Orochimaru both came over. Compared to Orochimaru, which is higher and less cold, Jiraiya seemed to be a little ridiculous. It's so annoying. Ryuyun, didn't you break up with Tsunade? I just rushed back because of this news. Looking at Qingshan Ryuyun next to Tsunade, Jiraiya was full of annoyance. How does this posture look like a breakup situation? Jiraiya likes Tsunade, many people know it. Qingshan Ryuyun himself knows it, but it's different from Kaido Dan. If Jiraiya has anything to do, I will put it on the open side, and never make any small actions. Seeing Jiraiya doing this, Qingshan Ryuyun laughed and embraced Tsunade's shoulders. Then you wait slowly, I feel you are going to be single for a lifetime. How can it be? Can Jiraiya bear this? I'm dignified Mount Myoboku, Toad Sage Jiraiya, Konoha likes my little girl, not too much. Then if you let them know what kind of person you are usually, your dreams will probably be shattered. Jiraiya is the real student of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Even the hobbies I like are exactly the same. Slander. This is slander. Jiraiya was a little frustrated. Who is it that dare to slander the reputation of my magnificent Toad Sage Jiraiya? I'm just drawing materials, not for other reasons. Okay, you have too much shit. Looking at Jiraiya, who was in the drama mode. Qingshan Ryuyun and Tsunade haven't said anything yet. Orochimaru, who was on the side, couldn't help but glared. This comparison is endless, it's too annoying. Oh, Orochimaru. I'm about to cry, even Orochimaru, are you starting to despise me? So sad. Orochimaru completely ignored Jiraiya's miserable expression. Look at Tsunade seriously. There are many dangers on the battlefield, be careful. Orochimaru of this period, although there is little cold talk. But they still care about these two companions from the heart. Do not worry. Tsunade also smiled and said, I am not on the battlefield alone. Turning his head, looking at Qingshan Ryuyun next to him, Tsunade smiled, very beautiful. Looking at Jiraiya on the opposite side, his face is full of indecision. The goddess smiled so beautifully, but unfortunately, not to herself. There is a monster like Ryuyun, what danger can there be? Qingshan Ryuyun's strength, Jiraiya knows. After all, I have been beaten many times. Boom. Qingshan Ryuyun slapped Jiraiya on the shoulder. Seeing Qingshan Ryuyun suddenly smiled at himself cheerfully. Jiraiya was a little confused. In the past, Qingshan Ryuyun would laugh like this every time he beat Jiraiya. Jiraiya is about to have a psychological shadow. What do you want to do? Let me tell you, my body injury is not healed. If you beat me up, you have to support me. It's okay, I can buy you a piece of land. Land. Jiraiya looked at Qingshan Ryuyun suspiciously, is there such a good thing? Although the house prices in Konoha are not too outrageous, they are still very expensive. Yes. Graveyard. Quote. Qingshan Ryuyun said with a smile. It's just that, making Jiraiya a little silent. Excuse me. Goodbye. When the voice fell, Jiraiya turned around and left. Just kidding, will you continue to stay and be beaten? This guy, it's really shameless and skinless. But with Jiraiya, there is usually a lot of joy. Chapter 10 Sarutobi Hiruzen. Do I look good and fool you? Advertise here. Presumptuous. It's too presumptuous. When chatting at Qingshan Ryuyun, in Hokage's office at this time, Udatane Kaharu was berating loudly. At this time, in the huge Hokage office, only Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo, Udatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura as elders. When Qingshan Ryuyun was there just now, Udatane Kaharu dare not say anything. But now that people are gone, Udatane Kaharu shouted immediately. In this scene, Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help but turn up Byakugan. When Qingshan Ryuyun was there just now, why didn't you tell me? Now that people are gone, you just shout in front of me. I think I know you well, so I'm so bullied. Okay, what kind of person Ryuyun is, you haven't heard of it. To be honest, Sarutobi Hiruzen is also incredible. Are you used to being domineering and wanting to be arrogant when you see anyone? Do you really think anyone will be used to you because of your identity as an elder? If it weren't for the feelings of companionship in the past. Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't even want to persuade at the time. I've heard of it, anyway, I just can't bear this anger. Anyway, Qingshan Ryuyun is not there. When Udatane Kaharu spoke, he didn't need to be afraid of anything. Let's do it. Shrugging, seeing Udatane Kaharu like this, Sarutobi Hiruzen said directly. Then you will go directly to Ryuyun to settle the account later. If I had the courage, would I still complain in front of you? Just because I dare not. That's why Udatane Kaharu said this in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen. I hope that is Hokage's Sarutobi Hiruzen, he will take care of himself and give Qingshan Ryuyun a lesson. But I didn't expect that Sarutobi Hiruzen was so shameless. Do you have any other questions? Seeing Udatane Kaharu who was silent, Sarutobi Hiruzen said directly. Snort. I really thought I couldn't tell, do you want to use me as a gun? Sarutobi Hiruzen, an upright young man, is at the peak of his strength. The mentality is not as mediocre and incompetent as later. Sarutobi Hiruzen's momentum is not weaker than others when he should be majestic. Quote. Udatane Kaharu can see that Sarutobi Hiruzen values Qingshan Ryuyun even more. It's useless to say anything by myself. But what should I do for my own face? These people who claim to be big people are the best face. As everyone knows, this is the ninja realm where the strong are supreme. Your face. It's worth a few dollars. No way, Udatane Kaharu can only look at Shimura Danzo on the side. After all, among the friends of the past, there is only one Shimura Danzo, able to say a few words about Sarutobi Hiruzen. Ahem. Shimura Danzo, who noticed Udatane Kaharu's gaze, cleared his throat deliberately. Although Shimura Danzo hasn't said a word since the beginning of the meeting. But I see everything very clearly. Hiruzen, Qingshan Ryuyun's temper really needs to be corrected. That is, Udatane Kaharu nodded quickly, thinking that Shimura Danzo was trying to speak for himself. A pair of eyes looking at Shimura Danzo softened a bit. Shimura Danzo, who noticed this scene, moved a few steps to the side with aversion in his heart. This idiot, don't know anything about it. Single quote. Then what do you mean? Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned and looked at Danzo. Among his former companions, Shimura Danzo was the most important thing for Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen will not care about the opinions of others, but Sarutobi Hiruzen will still listen to the opinions of Danzo. As for what Danzo said, Qingshan Ryuyun's temper problem. Sarutobi Hiruzen is very scornful. The strong man in the ninja world, who doesn't have a slight temper anymore. But not all the strong, like Hatake Tsukumo, are quiet and obedient. Moreover, Qingshan Ryuyun is not the only one who has such a characteristic. In Cloud Shinobi Village, the most prolific is the reckless man. So, Shimura Danzo paused slightly, and then stated his purpose. Why don't you give Qingshan Ryuyun to me? It just so happens that my root department has just been established. I have a lot of time. I can definitely educate Qingshan Ryuyun into Konoha's excellent ninja. Quote. Sarutobi Hiruzen did not speak, but looked at Shimura Danzo with weird eyes. Do I look good? I suspect you are underestimating my IQ. Even Udatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura have heard something wrong. Is this to educate Qingshan Ryuyun? This obviously wants to drag Qingshan Ryuyun to his own wave. What else does Udatane Kaharu want to say? But he was pulled by Mitokado Homura on the side and shook his head slightly to Udatane Kaharu. Mitokado Homura can see clearly. Whether it's Sarutobi Hiruzen or Shimura Danzo, they can't afford it. It will only be a shame to continue to entangle. I couldn't feel angry, but on the surface, Udatane Kaharu could only bear it. How about, Hiruzen, my proposal is not bad. Shimura Danzo was a little delighted. Shimura Danzo knew Qingshan Ryuyun's strength a long time ago. It's not long since my root department was founded. It was precisely when this high-end combat power was needed. Quote. Sarutobi Hiruzen did not answer. It just responded to an idiot look. Get out of here, you really treat me like a kid. Stop talking. Qingshan Ryuyun is an excellent ninja and doesn't need your education. But, Danzo obviously wanted to say something more. When Sarutobi Hiruzen, there is no more thought of continuing to struggle. Enough. Sarutobi Hiruzen slapped the table and interrupted Danzo directly. Standing up, with the aura of Shinobi, Danzo and others could not help but step back. I'm Konoha's Hokage. How Konoha will develop, I have to say it. Hiruzen. Danzo's eyes became a little gloomy. Facing such Sarutobi Hiruzen, I was a little bit scared. This made Sarutobi Hiruzen, who had always dreamed of pulling Sarutobi Hiruzen down and becoming the Danzo of Hokage. His heart was extremely angry. One day, you will regret it. It's a shame to continue to bring it down. So Danzo turned around and left after dropping a last sentence. Chapter 11. You know what a fart. Advertise here. Danzo's threat, Sarutobi Hiruzen is not at all relieved. Instead, he turned his head and looked at Udatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura, who were still standing there. You two, do you have anything else to say? Quote. Some silence. Say a fart. I've let you talk, what else can I say? After Udatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura looked at each other, they were about to leave together. It's just that maybe it feels too embarrassing to leave like this. Udatane Kaharu finally said, Hiruzen, Hokage is not that easy to do. After speaking, Udatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura left. Whispering sound. It's like you know how to make Hokage. Sarutobi Hiruzen snorted and smiled. After noticing that no one was around, he raised his eyebrows slightly and took out a glass ball from the desk. Hi, this, can't sleep. At night, looking at Tsunade, who was a little tossing on the side, Qingshan Ryuyun raised his brow and asked. I'm going to the battlefield soon, how can I fall asleep? Tsunade in this period is far from being as stable as 5th Hokage in the future. But Qingshan Ryuyun, after hearing Tsunade's explanation, can't help but laugh and tease. I can't sleep like this, I feel you look down on me a little bit. What? Tsunade was a little puzzled. After noticing Qingshan Ryuyun's smirk, he thought of what happened just now. Tsunade flipped Byakugan angrily. Go to hell, who told you this? I'm talking business with you, are you driving with me? Ha ha ha, don't worry, you can fall asleep when you are tired. You, For almost 3 days, the ninjas who rushed to the battlefield had been arranged. Looking at these 3,000 ninjas in front of me. Chunin Genin is mostly, these ninjas, their roles in the battlefield are basically cannon fodder. I don't know how many people will be able to return after the war is over. Single quote. Tsunade sighed silently in his heart. But as the commander-in-chief of this war, Tsunade could not show any sympathy. Only with iron and blood and firmness can the subordinates have the determination to win. Everyone, I believe you already know the purpose of this gathering. Same as before each expedition. As the commander-in-chief, you have to say something to boost morale. In the face of war, most of these 3,000 ninjas, more or less, will be a little flustered. Those who can remain calm are those ninjas who have experienced many wars. I, Senju Tsunade, swear in the name of the Senju clan, that I will lead you to defeat Sand Shinobi Village. Let us use only one war to fight all the idiots of Sand Shinobi Village back to our hometown. Do you have confidence? Quote. Have. The inspiration of Tsunade is still useful. At least most of the ninjas present are looking at Senju Tsunade with admiring eyes. The prestige of the Senju family is reflected in the role at this time. No one dared to question such a guarantee. Okay, follow me, let us smash Sand Shinobi. With a wave of hands, 3,000 ninjas followed Senju Tsunade and rushed to the battlefield of Sand Shinobi Village. Among these ninjas, their family members are standing not far away, silently blessing. Tsunade is getting better and better. The Hokage building, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was looking at this scene through the window, couldn't help but sigh. Regarding this matter, neither Jiraiya nor Orochimaru can be as good as Tsunade. Udatane Kaharu on the side is obviously a bit dissatisfied with Tsunade. But she is from the Senju clan after all. Enough, shut up. In the same way, Sarutobi Hiruzen doesn't want to listen anymore. After speaking, Sarutobi Hiruzen directly sat back on his desk and began to process the documents. This is what I admire you most. Walking in front of all the ninjas, Hitaki Sakumo couldn't help but said to Qingshan Ryuyun on the side. Qingshan Ryuyun didn't understand at first what Hitaki Shumao said. But noticed that Hitaki first raised his eyebrows at himself. Then he looked at Tsunade's direction again. Qingshan Ryuyun understood. Then you think, what I like is Tsunade. To be honest, Qingshan Ryuyun's favorite is Tsunade's heroic appearance. Hitaki Sakumo nodded along the way. After looking at Tsunade, I thought of my own one. It's too fierce. You know what a fart, real men like this. Qingshan Ryuyun said angrily to Hitaki Shumao. You think Tsunade is fierce, because you can only see the fierce side of Tsunade. When at home, Tsunade was very sensible. Yes, you know what a fart. At this time, Tsunade, who was walking in the front, stopped and gave Hitaki an angry look. Just follow, do you really think my old lady can't hear your discussion? However, Tsunade is still very satisfied with Qingshan Ryuyun's answer. He gave Qingshan Ryuyun a look of, calculate your knowledge. Qingshan Ryuyun smiled happily, and also raised his eyebrows. Quote. In this case, see Hitaki Sakumo straight through by Akugan. Yes, you are a family, of course you will help your family to speak. It's not that I said, Captain White Fang, I always thought you were a cold person, and the design collapsed. Everyone has a good relationship. Tsunade usually opens light effects with Hitaki Shumao. When we first met, Konoha Sanin thought that Hitaki Sakumo was a very cold and serious person. But after getting along for a long time, I found out. This product can also be a joke in normal times. In the words of Hitaki Sakumo. I'm usually tired when doing tasks. If I pretend to be cold, wouldn't it be even more tired? Ha ha ha. Qingshan Ryuyun smiled cheerfully and said directly. Tsunade, don't you understand? In fact, White Fang is just a bore. Kang. The sound of swords rang. I saw that Hitaki Shumao at this time can slightly take out the White Fang short sword with his back behind him. Rolled his eyes to see Qingshan Ryuyun. The last word, if you say it, I really want to do it. Chapter 12 War is on the verge of. Advertise here. Ha ha ha. Seeing Hitaki Shumao like this, Qingshan Ryuyun laughed directly. I have to say that the future Hitaki Kakashi. It is probably inherited from Hitaki Shumao, so he is such a person. That's it. It's going to be a place soon, so be serious. At this time, Tsunade, as the commander-in-chief, can only stand up and speak. Obviously it is a very serious place. But you can still make jokes, which is a bit out of date. Understand. Qingshan Ryuyun didn't say anything, and nodded along the way. Hitaki Sakumo on the side shrugged, and regained his usual cold appearance. On the other side, Sand Shinobi Village was established in a temporary meeting room on the battlefield. The strong of the older generation, third Kazekage, known as the strongest in history. The puppet master Chiandai mother-in-law, and the younger brother of Chiandai mother-in-law, Ebizo. As well as the strong young people of Sand Shinobi Village. The future fourth Kazekage, the placer ninja Luasha. Plus Sand Shinobi Village hero, Scorch-style ninja Hakura. In addition, there is a very dangerous person in Sand Shinobi Village, Gaara's predecessor, One-Tail Jinchuriki, who is blessed. At this moment the blessing, dressed as a monk, sitting cross-legged. The kind look makes it hard to associate with such a monster. Chio, I respect you as the senior of Sand Shinobi Village, but you have to know a little bit in your heart. In Sand Shinobi Village, although the boss on the surface is third Kazekage, But the prestige of the mother-in-law of the thousand generations, and the puppet troops controlled by the mother-in-law of the thousand generations. Not losing to third Hokage at all. We, Sand Shinobi, can no longer withstand wars. If it weren't for the repeated requests of the mother-in-law, third Hokage would really want to cease the war. After all, among the 5 great shinobi villages, the materials in Sand Shinobi Village are the most lacking. Now that other shinobi villages are not fighting, they are still fighting in Sand Shinobi Village. Can't afford to consume materials. The old man understands it all. Squinting her eyes slightly, the thousand-generation mother-in-law already has some old faces, completely indifferent, without any other emotions. The situation in Sand Shinobi Village, how could a thousand-generation mother-in-law be unclear? However, my son and daughter-in-law died in this war. They all died in the hands of Konoha's White Fang, Hitaki Tsukumo. If there is no grandson, Sasori is still alive. Thousands of mothers-in-law wanted to die with them. If this grudge is not reported, a thousand-generation mother-in-law will never be willing. Don't worry, when this war is over, the old puppet troops will be yours. From then on, Laozi will hide behind the scenes and stop worrying about everything. Good. Third Hokage nodded instantly. If it weren't for this, what third Hokage said would not agree to continue the war. This is the real ninja world. Everything is false, and only the interests in your own hands are the most real. The mother-in-law of the thousand generations also knew that third Hokage wanted to monopolize all the rights of Sand Shinobi Village. It doesn't matter. Thousand-generation mother-in-laws themselves don't value these very much. As long as you can get revenge, give up and give up. Elder sister. Ebizo on the side looked at his sister unbearably. I still didn't say anything, so I could only sigh slightly. This time, I brought one-tail Jinchuriki out too. With that said, third Hokage glanced at the blessing not far away. It's fine if you win. If Sand Shinobi Village loses in the next war, then no matter what, this war can't be fought anymore. If you lose, you still have to fight. The background of Sand Shinobi Village will definitely be finished. The old man understands. The mother-in-law of a thousand generations closed her eyes and said. Third Hokage didn't say anything anymore, turned around and left the conference room. Luo Sha took a look at the mother-in-law of the thousand generations, and then left. The 2 powerhouses of the new generation of Sand Shinobi Village. Luo Sha's ambition is obvious, that is, she wants to be the next Feng Ying. And the other one, Scorch-style Ninja Hakura. In comparison, it's much simpler. It doesn't matter whether you become Feng Ying or not. Yi Kang only hopes that Sand Shinobi Village will get better and better. That's enough. Yi Kang also respected the thousand-generation mother-in-law. 1,000 generations of mother-in-law, we will definitely win. Even the one-tail Jinchuriki on the side said. Although I don't like war, but for Sand Shinobi Village, the old monk will fight to the death. Thanks. After adjusting her breathing slightly, the mother-in-law of the thousand generations whispered. In fact, the mother-in-law of the thousand generations also understands that if it is not for herself, there is no need to fight the war at all, and there will be no more sacrifices. But now that the decision has been made, the thousand-generation mother-in-law will no longer regret anything. Thinking of this, the eyes of the mother-in-law of the thousand generations who had low eyebrows began to become firm. This war, the old man must win. At this time, Qingshan Ryuyun does not know the thousand-generation mother-in-law at Sand Shinobi Village. Already planning to fight to death. In the temporary meeting room set up, Nara Shikajima is analyzing for Tsunade. So, Master Tsunade, the outcome of the next war is likely to determine whether this war will continue or not. As Konoha's military divisions, Nara Lujo's chance is beyond doubt. I can almost guess it. As long as the next war, Konoha won. Then this second Ninja World War can be completely ended. Oh, Tsunade, who was sitting on the main seat, nodded along the way. To be honest, Naraluji said a lot at the beginning. Tsunade was at a loss. But as the commander-in-chief, Tsunade can only pretend to nod suddenly. At least it can't be seen by people, I just didn't listen attentively. Naraluju clearly saw this too. A little helpless. But Tsunade, as the commander-in-chief of this war, Nara Shikahisa couldn't say anything. In short, Tsunade-sama. We will definitely win the next war. You'd be over if you couldn't say so long ago. Tsunade knocked on the table directly, his face was completely stunned. If you said it so simple earlier, didn't my old lady understand it? A lot of nonsense analysis, embarrassing. Quote. Naraluju said he was helpless, can I be blamed for this? Chapter 13. Is it so shameless? Advertise here. After all, the third generation old man still doesn't worry about me. Glancing in the direction of Inoshika Cho, Tsunade said angrily. Obviously, Hitaki had already arranged for Hitaki to follow him. Now the Inoshika Cho trio has been arranged again. How uneasy is this? For such Tsunade, even Naraluju couldn't help but talk. What kind of person you are, don't you know? Single quote. It's weird to be reassuring. But in this case, obviously you can't say it directly. So Naraluju can only say in a persuasive tone. Master Hokage just hopes to win this war simply and neatly. Hey, true hypocrisy. However, After hearing such words, Tsunade curled his lips decisively and said, quote, quote. Naruto said he was helpless. If I provoke someone, I came over to become a military teacher, but I was even dismissed as a hypocrisy. Of course, what kind of person Tsunade is, Naruto knows very well. In this case, it won't make Naruto angry. In short, the next war is critical. Don't worry. Tsunade waved his hand and said assuredly. My old lady brought all his men here, even if Sand Shinobi village brings their one-tail Jinchuriki, we don't need to panic. The voice just fell. The Konoha shinobi who was in charge of investigating information ran into the meeting room. Master Tsunade, according to the survey, Sand Shinobi village brought one-tail Jinchuriki to the side of this war. Quote, quote. For a while, there was silence in the meeting room. Everyone's gazes all looked in the direction of Tsunade, their gazes were quite strange. Have you opened it up yet? What to say? In the face of these gazes, Tsunade can only say seriously at this time. Don't panic. Look at me, how stable. In fact, Tsunade's heart is also secretly cursing. Are those idiots in Sand Shinobi village crazy? Actually brought out one-tail Jinchuriki as the final weapon. It's really going to be desperate. Don't worry, those Sand Shinobi will definitely not be able to fight directly. We still have time to deploy the next war plan. Once this has been said, another Konoha shinobi who was in charge of investigating intelligence rushed into the meeting room. Oh, Lord Tsunade, everyone, Sand Shinobi village is attacking. Sand Shinobi village went to war directly. The news caused everyone in the conference room to be stunned. Then he looked at Tsunade inexplicably. You said you haven't turned on it. Even Qingshan Ryuyun was a little bit astonished for a while. What did he really say? Depend on. Is it so shameless? Tsunade slapped directly on the table with an angry slap. Just hit it. These idiots in Sand Shinobi village. It is Nara Shikahisa, who is a military advisor, calmly analyzing. We just arrived on the battlefield, Sand Shinobi village started to attack, plus one-tail Jinchuriki is the ultimate weapon. At Sand Shinobi village, we should be caught off guard. Quote. With the opportunity of Naruto, it was quickly analyzed. Why is Sand Shinobi village so busy going to war? Just want to use this to quickly defeat Konoha in a short time. Hey, unprepared. Take him a grandfather. Call it down and gather all the ninjas. In the face of this kind of war, Tsunade is still very worried. With a wave of his hand, the first one walked out of the meeting room. Let's directly defeat the idiots in Sand Shinobi village. Yes, he looked at each other and nodded together. In an endless desert, the ninja of Sand Shinobi village, the ninja of Konoha. Get together for about a kilometer, looking at each other from a distance. Some young ninjas who have never experienced war, when faced with this situation. I couldn't help but grasp the weapon in his hand, and there was some firmness in his panic expression. Konoha's white fang. When I saw Hatake Tsukumo standing next to Tsunade. A pair of eyes of 1,000-generation mother-in-law stared at him. This guy in front of him assassinated his son and daughter-in-law. So troublesome. After noticing the murderous look in the mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations, Hatake Shumao was a little helpless. One hand was slowly placed on the handle of his white fang short sword. Qingshan Ryuyun on the side said cheerfully. How do I feel, that old green onion, I am in love with you. Quote. Hatake Shumao didn't answer, he just rolled his eyes and looked at Qingshan Ryuyun. At this time, you can still make jokes. Tsunade, who was standing in front of all Konoha shinobi, even shouted directly. Yo, poor ghosts of Sand Shinobi village, you can still go to war, what is your village like, don't you have any points in your heart? Do you want my old lady to give you 2 pieces of flowers? The poverty of Sand Shinobi village is well known in the shinobi world. After all, the land boundary of Sand Shinobi village, more than 90% of the place, is desert. It's weird that this place is rich. Hey, it won't bother you to worry about it. The mother-in-law of 1,000 generations has never seen anything. How could it be ridiculed by Tsunade like this, and get angry? Tsunade kid, I don't know how much you inherited the wood style of Senju Hashirama, the god of the ninja world. These words are mocking. Tsunade is the granddaughter of Senju Hashirama, the god of ninja. But they don't even know Senju Hashirama's standard wood style. Old guy, look at how you knocked out your teeth after a while. With his fist clenched, Tsunade looked at the grandmother 1,000 generations viciously. Humph. The mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations snorted coldly and didn't care. He just turned his head and looked at third Kage aside. Let's start. After this war, whether you win or lose, Sand Shinobi village will have the final say from now on. This makes third Kage ambition not small, so naturally it won't disagree. Sand iron. The black sand and iron like a cloud, centered on third Kage, began to spread around. This ability to control sand and iron. That's why third Kage is called the strongest wind shadow in the history. Chapter 14 Fist crushed sand and iron. Famous ninja world. Advertise here. The black sand iron, behind third Kage, formed something like wings. With third Kage, flew into the air. In the ninja world, flying ninjutsu is still very rare. Hey, Pretending to be. Seeing such third cage, Tsunade curled his lips and said, "What to install?" On the other hand, Sand Shinobi Village, because of the changes in their own styles, one by one, they seem more confident. Forbearance. Sand Iron Sugar. The densely packed sand and iron, under the control of third cage. It began to fall from midair towards Konoha. A large area of ninjutsu, it seems that all Konoha shinobi are shrouded in it. Ryuyun. Seeing this, Tsunade's eyes kept calling Qingshan Ryuyun. "Give it to me," grinned, looking at the sand and iron in the sky, and third cage sitting high in the sky. War. It's started. Single quote. Dragon breath. The dragon scale tattoo on the body began to undergo a substantial transformation, and a pair of eyes began to become the vertical pupils of the dragon. The crimson lines gleamed on Qingshan Ryuyun's body. Afterwards, the dragon's breath flame, carrying the aura of destruction, rushed towards the sand iron. Boom. The dragon's breath flame and the sand iron sugar directly blasted together. If it is an ordinary fire style, it is naturally not an opponent of sand iron. But Qingshan Ryuyun is a dragon's breath flame with destructive power. The scorching high temperature caused the sand and iron that had been relieved to begin to melt. This. Third cage in midair frowned. The power of own sand and iron, third cage knew that it was actually melted. How can this be? Who are you? Qingshan Ryuyun used to be only famous in Konoha. The outside world knows very little about Qingshan Ryuyun. You will know soon. On a faintly dragonized face, with a sorrowful smile. Qingshan Ryuyun stomped the ground with one foot. Boom. The sand under my feet cracked directly into a big pit. Under the force of this counter shock, Qingshan Ryuyun's figure flew towards third cage in midair at extreme speed. Although Qingshan Ryuyun can fly after being completely beastized, it is not necessary now. Seeing that Qingshan Ryuyun actually rushed over in this way. Third cage was obviously caught off guard. With a wave of hand, countless sand and iron, in front of third cage, formed a line of defenses. Ha 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 ha, not enough. Looking at the third cage that is like building a tortoise shell around me. Qingshan Ryuyun smiled. The right arm was slightly closed, and the pitch-black armament Haki began to wrap around Qingshan Ryuyun's arm. Give me shatter. Roaring with a burst of anger, Qingshan Ryuyun's fist blasted fiercely on the sand and iron of third cage. Under the control of third cage, the sand iron is still full of spikes. But these little tricks, relying on Qingshan Ryuyun of the advanced armament Haki, don't need to care at all. At this moment, whether it is a Konoha shinobi or a Sand Shinobi village ninja on the battlefield, they all looked at the battle in midair with interest. After all, the result of the first battle is related to their morale in the future. No matter which side loses, the ninja over there will definitely be demoralized. Hung. Qingshan Ryuyun's fist has already hit the sand and iron of third cage. The dull voice echoed over the entire battlefield. Boy, you. Looking at Qingshan Ryuyun in front of him, third cage was just about to taunt. But at this time, crack, a crisp cracking sound suddenly came. Nani. With a pair of eyes, third cage looked at the sand iron defense in front of him in disbelief. Cracks appeared in the place hit by Qingshan Ryuyun. This is the first time that my unfavorable sand iron actually shows signs of being shattered. How could third cage not be surprised? Crack, click. The sound of breaking became more and more, until. Boom. The sand and iron defending in front of them shattered suddenly. Qingshan Ryuyun's fist fell fiercely on third cage's body. Wow. The figure was blasted out of the air, turned into a black shadow, and was blasted onto the sand again. Hung. The figure was smashed out of a gust of wind and sand. At the same time, Qingshan Ryuyun also fell down. This is third cage, the strongest in history. I don't think so much. Don't look at Qingshan Ryuyun being reckless in the fight. But in terms of taunting ability, Qingshan Ryuyun is not weak at all. In addition, Qingshan Ryuyun just blasted the third cage out, and no one can refute the words like this. Master Fengying. Has our Master Fengying been defeated? Sure enough, the failure of third cage caused some panic among the ninjas in Sand Shinobi village. After all, even their invincible third cage lost. Then they should lose too. On the contrary, the ninjas on Konoha's side began to cheer. I'm third cage, how could I lose? In the sky full of sand, there was third cage's roar. As the strongest wind shadow in the past, how could I be defeated so simply? Third cage will never allow its own failure. Ninfa Sand Iron Enchantment. Third cage's ninjutsu technique. Kang, kang, kang. Sand and iron reappeared, and countless sand and iron spikes formed a world like sand and iron around. It spread quickly in the direction of Qingshan Ryuyun. Ha 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 ha. In the face of this situation, Qingshan Ryuyun didn't have the slightest intention to flinch. Instead, he laughed and rushed towards the sand and iron barrier. Not enough. Not enough. Like an ancient beast, it surrounds armament Haki's fist, constantly banging on the sand and iron. Hung, hung, hung. The sand and iron spikes were blasted into fly ash by Qingshan Ryuyun. However, this dense sand and iron will still hit Qingshan Ryuyun's body from time to time. It's just that Qingshan Ryuyun ignored them all. Chapter 15 The Name of the Strongest Creature. Advertise here. Not good. On the side of Konoha Shinobi, Nara Shikahisa watching the game seems to have realized something. Said quickly. The sand and iron of 3rd Cage are all focused on attacking the same place on Lord Ryuyun. No matter how high the defense is. But if you are continuously attacked at the same place, you will still break the defense. Do not worry. It's Tsunade. After hearing Nara Shikahisa's words. Looking at the figure in the sand iron barrier, he smiled. That man will never lose. This is the man my old lady likes, how could he lose here? Even Hitaki Sakumo smiled. Watch with peace of mind, Qingshan Ryuyun's strength is not as weak as you think. This. Naru had only heard of Qingshan Ryuyun a long time ago, but it was the first time that he really saw Qingshan Ryuyun's strength. After being said that, Naruto can't say anything anymore. Bang, bang, bang. In the sand iron barrier, as Nara Shikahisa said. The sand iron spike controlled by 3rd Cage has been attacking Qingshan Ryuyun's shoulder a little. Qingshan Ryuyun also noticed, but didn't care. Until. Puff. A sand iron spike pierced Qingshan Ryuyun's shoulder along the way. Following this scene, the attack on the sand and iron barrier began to stop, and even Qingshan Ryuyun stopped at the same time. Looking at the sand iron running through his shoulders, Qingshan Ryuyun raised his eyebrows slightly. He looked at 3rd Cage not far away and grinned. In Sand Shinobi Village, except for the grandmothers of the 1,000 generations who are still dignified, most people are lucky. A new generation of strong men, Scorch-style Ninja Hakura, Placer Ninja Rosa. I couldn't help but cheered. Very good. Master Fengying is really invincible. Only the experienced mother-in-law of 1,000 generations, looking at Qingshan Ryuyun with a smile on his face. There is a faint premonition in my heart. A junior kid. Don't underestimate Fengying. In the wind and sand, the figure of 3rd Cage walked out slowly. This advantage makes 3rd Cage a little proud. The embarrassment of being slowly blown out disappeared for a while. How do you know that I was not hit by you on purpose? Qingshan Ryuyun tilted his neck and grinned. In this case, 3rd Cage frowned. How could it be possible to get hit deliberately? How could there be such a person in the ninja world? It must be a bluff. Looking at the sand and iron spike that pierced Qingshan Ryuyun's shoulder, 3rd Cage said directly. Don't be kidding, kid. Ha 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 ha. Qingshan Ryuyun smiled carelessly. Under 3rd Cage's gaze, Qingshan Ryuyun grabbed the sand iron spike with one hand. After all, if you don't, how can you despair? While speaking, Qingshan Ryuyun's other hand was a sword with one hand. Cut on this piece of sand and iron. Kang. The iron sand was cut instantly. Qingshan Ryuyun threw the iron sand aside. 3rd Cage was just about to say something. Even if you cut off the sand and iron, the injury on your shoulder is still there. The battle will definitely be affected, right? But the next scene surprised 3rd Cage. I saw that the injury on Qingshan Ryuyun's shoulder was recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. Within half a point, it has fully recovered. There is not even a trace of injury. Really, not far away, a trace of clarity flashed through the eyes of 1,000 generation mother-in-law. The bad feeling in my heart has been confirmed. How can it be? 3rd Cage is incredible. What is this kind of resilience? This is still human. You guy, what the hell is it? Me, listen to Lousy. With an arrogant smile, Qingshan Ryuyun's voice echoed over the entire battlefield. Lousy's name is Qingshan Ryuyun, but Lousy wants to become the strongest creature in the sea, land, and air. How can you beat me? Ha 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 ha. 3rd Cage's surprised gaze made Qingshan Ryuyun very satisfied. What you want is this effect. Otherwise, if you are stupid, you will be white hits by 3rd Cage. Lousy is an immortal existence, want to kill me, go back and practice for decades. Ha ha ha. When these words came out, most of the people present laughed. Let 3rd Cage go back to practice for decades. It is estimated that by then, 3rd Cage will be old and dead. Damn it. 3rd Cage has a gloomy face. Is Qingshan Ryuyun really immortal? 3rd Cage doesn't know. But with such resilience, 3rd Cage is really afraid of it. I believe that after this battle is over, Qingshan Ryuyun of 3rd Cage will be famous for the ninja world. At that time, the name of the strongest creature. It is estimated that it really fell on Qingshan Ryuyun's head. When I think that the other party is famous for stepping on him, 3rd Cage's heart feels annoyed. Can't wait any longer. The mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations had a calm face, and was not affected by the battle between 3rd Cage and Qingshan Ryuyun just now. Morale in Sand Shinobi Village is low. If we wait, it is estimated that there will be no need to fight this war. Just admit defeat. Everyone, attack with the old man. Under the leadership of the mother-in-law, the Sand Shinobi, who were riveting enough strength, rushed towards Konoha one after another. Damn old lady, do you think Konoha can win against us? You still dare to fight, look down on people, right? Tsunade is also a person who never admits counseling. Since you dare to fight, the old lady will still be afraid of you. Although there are people, follow me, and call all the idiots in Sand Shinobi Village back to their hometown. Go. Under the leadership of Tsunade and Chiandai mother-in-law. The ninja of Sand Shinobi village and the ninja of Konoha village quickly rushed together. On the battlefield, all kinds of people and levels appeared. At the same time, in this chaotic battlefield, people fall from time to time, these are all lives. Unfortunately, now is not the time for compassion. Chapter 16 Ino Shika Cho Trio. Advertise here. It's all you old lady. Tsunade went directly to the mother-in-law of the Thousand Generations. Weird power punch. Pung. A strange force fist directly smashed the ordinary puppet controlled by a Thousand Generation mother-in-law. The physical ninja is very restrained from the puppet master. Especially like Tsunade, a ninja with unparalleled power. If it weren't for you old lady, the war would have ended long ago. Tsunade looked at the Thousand Generation mother-in-law viciously, as if looking at some sinner. Humph. The mother-in-law of the Thousand Generations was stunned, she didn't even want to talk to Tsunade anymore. For the sake of my son and daughter-in-law, this battle must never end like this. At the same time, the mother-in-law of the Thousand Generations took out a special storage scroll from her body. White secret skill 10 people near song. Bang, bang, bang. With several successive white smoke, 10 puppets of various shapes appeared around the mother-in-law of the Thousand Generations. This is the 10 puppets made by Master First Generation of Puppetry. At the same time, it is also the pinnacle of puppet art. Not a puppet, but you can use ninjutsu. Hey, what if you use the white secret technique? It's not the first time that Tsunade and Kaidai mother-in-law have fought each other. Tsunade knew very well about the various abilities of the mother-in-law of the Thousand Generations. Look at how my old lady blasted all your puppets to pieces. The young people nowadays, like you, can only shout. The Thousand Generation mother-in-law said with a constant expression. If only a few words can affect the mood, but a Thousand Generation mother-in-law is not a Thousand Generation mother-in-law. Whispering sound. Tien show feet. No more words, Tsunade's figure disappeared instantly. Lifting up with one foot, he blasted towards the mother-in-law of the Thousand Generations. Ninfa Gold Dust Shuriken. In the battlefield, Luosha's Placer Gold is crisscrossing the battlefield. In such a desert area, Luosha's power of Placer Gold has been beaten by retainers. Compared to some ordinary cage-level powerhouses at this stage, there is still no problem. When Luosha controlled the Placer Gold and dealt with the Konoha Shinobi. Not far away came the voice of Nara Shikaju. Ninfa Shadow Beam Fighting Technique. The shadow under Nara Lujo's body approached Luosha at a very fast speed, connecting to the shadow under Luosha's feet. Suddenly my body couldn't move. Luosha looked at it suspiciously, and after noticing the shadow under her feet, Luosha's face became clear. Konoha's Nara clan. After fighting with Konoha for so long, there are some special secret arts families in Konoha, they are very clear. But, do you think you can beat me this way? Luosha, who was under control, was full of arrogance. Luosha is also preparing to use this war to show more of her powerful strength. In order to become Fengying in the future, to gain prestige. Hey, of course it's more than that. For Luosha like this, Nara Luju, who was half squatting on the ground, smiled casually. At the same time, the figure of Yamanaka Kaiichi appeared on the other side of Luosha. Ninfa Heart Turning Technique. Luosha just realized that it's not good, Yamanaka can complete the seal as soon as he can. In a trance, Ninfa Super Expansion Jutsu. Following Akamaiki Dingza who ran over, his hands were sealed. One arm suddenly became like a giant arm. Clenching his fist, he smashed down at Luosha in front of him. Boom. The secret techniques of Ino Shika Cho 3 clans complement each other and share the same energy. Nara Kagyu, Yamanaka Keiichi and Akamaiki Dingza, although only 3 elite Jonin. But if the 3 of them work together, even in the face of cage-level powerhouses, the Ino Shika Cho trio has the power to fight. Scorch style. Oversteamed. As soon as he was about to pursue the victory, Yi Kang's heroic voice came from nearby. Retreat. Nara Luju said immediately. The 3 Ino Shika Cho all retreated together. I saw that in the fog and dust, there were some scorch-style fireballs around Yi Kang. She was carrying Luosha and jumped out. Be careful, Luosha. The other party is Konoha. Yi Kang never looked down upon Konoha, especially during the war. Whispering sound. Luosha wanted to refute something, but thought that she had just been rescued by Yi Kang. Luosha couldn't say anything. You know, from Luosha's point of view, in the entire Sand Shinobi village, Yi Kang is the only one who has the qualifications and strength to compete with himself for the position of the next Wind and Shadow. Luosha was thinking, if the situation just now changed to Yi Kang. Will I help me out? What do you think? Yi Kang didn't have so many ideas. Obviously on the battlefield, you can still be in a daze now, Yi Kang said quickly. Nothing. Luosha shook her head, dispelling the thoughts in her mind. I am Luosha. How could Luosha, who inherited the power of gold dust, lose here? Luosha will never admit that she is inferior to others. Especially this person is Yi Kang. Quote. Seeing Luosha like this, Yi Kang was puzzled. What's wrong with this stuff? But in this situation, Yi Kang couldn't ask anything. He could only work with Luosha to deal with the Ino Shika Cho trio. Ninfa a great burial of gold dust. Scorch style. Oversteamed. The Inoshika Cho trio, with rich combat experience and veteran combat. Tacitly evaded, and restrained Yi Kang and Luo Sha. It's really troublesome, the opponents are actually two cage-level powerhouses. Nara Luju was a little helpless. Then there were only two cage-level people, but they were also cage-level. It's hard to deal with. Akamaiki Dingza on the side, patted his stomach in a naive way, and said. When this war is over, I don't know how much fat I will consume. I must go back and have a good meal. Ha ha ha. Yamanaka laughed happily. Nara Luju also laughed. The relaxed look of Inoshika Cho, Yi Kang and Luo Sha, who were their opponents, couldn't bear it anymore. The Konoha shinobi of damn it. There is a limit to look down on people. Obviously fighting with us, I can still behave so easily. Do you think you can promise us steadily? Damn it. Chapter 17 Shuhei appeared. Advertise here. Well, young people are not good at this point, they have a bad temper. Facing such Luasha, Nara Luju and others behaved very casually. Simply avoiding Luasha's ninjutsu. To be honest, although the strength is enough. But Luo Sha's heart is far from being as stable as a cage-level powerhouse. But the battle experience is basically something you can participate in a few more wars. Faced with the combination of the Inoshika Cho trio. Even if Luasha and Yi Kang have already exerted their full strength. But there is still no way to end this battle in a short time. It seems that we Konoha's strong people are still quite a lot. Looking at these divided battlefields, Qingshan Ryuyun smiled relaxedly. I looked at third cage not far away. In this situation, Konoha's big advantage. Hey, don't think this is over. Third cage let out a cold snort and looked at the blessing not far away. Divided the blessing dressed like a monk, and after a slight sigh, he walked over from a short distance. Although I don't like war, but for Sand Shinobi Village, the poor monk will fight to the death. One tail. Qingshan Ryuyun is no surprise. A pair of dragon-shaped vertical pupils, staring in the direction of dividing blessings. I don't know how much fit can I increase after defeating one tail. Single quote. To be honest, Qingshan Ryuyun's heart is a bit looking forward to it. Sand iron. Just after some movement, a sand iron controlled by third cage flew over Qingshan Ryuyun's face at high speed. Third cage, who was raising his hands and controlling the sand iron. With a confident smile, he looked at Qingshan Ryuyun. With me here, where do you want to go? Although the tail beast is powerful, it is not impossible to deal with it. Otherwise, how could something like Jinchuriki exist? In order to prevent Qingshan Ryuyun from blocking one-tail Shuhei. Third cage prepared to hold Qingshan Ryuyun by himself. Let's take a good look and see how Shozuru eliminated the Konoha shinobi. Third cage smiled triumphantly. I hope I can see some angry expressions on Qingshan Ryuyun's face. Unfortunately, no. On the contrary, Qingshan Ryuyun looked at third cage with a mocking look. This look like watching a clown makes third cage a little annoyed. Just about to say something, a dazzling sword light interrupted third cage's voice. Hataki knife technique instant kill and cut. Kang. Hearing only a clear metal humming, the sand and iron around third cage's neck were directly cut off. A blood stain appeared on the neck. Although it looks faint, it does exist. Hataki Sakumo, who is holding the white fang short sword, has already arrived on the other side of third cage. This sand iron is really amazing, just a little bit. That's what I said, but Hataki Sakumo didn't mean much disappointment. After all, third cage, known as the strongest in history. If it's just killed by a spike like this, it would be too watery. Konoha's white fang. Third cage glared at him and looked at Hataki Sakumo fiercely. I was actually injured. Recalling the flash of sword light just now, third cage still felt a little palpitating. For a moment, third cage thought he was dead. Fortunately, my sand iron is strong enough. As this angry. Hataki Sakumo smiled. I randomly played a sword flower, and pointed it straight at third cage with the white fang short sword in my hand. Ryuyun, go and deal with Shuhei. As for this third cage, leave it to me. Qingshan Ryuyun did not refuse. He smiled jokingly at third cage, turned and walked towards one-tail Jinchuriki not far away. Don't think about it. Third cage intentionally stopped. But at this time, the sword light of thunder was shining, and third cage had to defend it. Hataki knife technique thunder light cut. Hataki Sakumo's swordsmanship is extremely fast. Even sand and iron can be easily cut off. Speaking of which, I have never assassinated the shadow of a village. The achievement of the name of Konoha's white fang, which shows that countless people have fallen under the swordsmanship of Hataki Sakumo. But for a character like the shadow of one village, Hataki has never tried it. Maybe, you are the shadow I killed for the first time. You guy, who thought I was carrying the name of the movie. This kind of disdainful remarks made third cage even more irritated. With Hataki Shumao, third cage can't stop Qingshan Ryuyun from doing anything. Now I can only focus all my attention on Hataki Sakumo. Ninfa Sand Iron Enchantment. Get serious. During the wave of his hand, the white fang short sword in his hand began to sparkle with dazzling brilliance. Hataki had a solemn face and looked directly at third cage. Such an opponent can't help but Hitaki is not serious. I seem to remember that you are just an ordinary person, don't you beastly? Qingshan Ryuyun looked close in front of him, but there was still no blessing to move. Qingshan Ryuyun asked curiously, Donor, war will only bring disaster. Why not? Don't stop here. This is what Fenfu wants to say. Pity. Before he finished speaking, Qingshan Ryuyun kicked him over. Hung. Angrily kicked, the blessed figure turned into a black shadow and was kicked out. There is so much shit, Lousy almost thought that you live in a place other than Shinobi. In this dangerous ninja world, persuade others to stop. The brain is broken. Ha. At the same time, the wind was blowing. The part of the blessing who was kicked and flew out, at this time, was falling in a big pit. There was a strong wind around, flying sand and rocks. Like a dust storm, the endless wind and sand began to gather in the direction of divided blessings. It started. After seeing this scene, Qingshan Ryuyun smiled. At the same time, those who noticed the situation couldn't help but stop. Shohi is about to come out. Whether it's Sand Shinobi Village or Konoha Village, the hearts of all ninjas are a little heavy. After all, the power of the tail beast, when it comes to fighting, has always been the enemy and the enemy. Chapter 18 The Dragon Descends. Dragon's Breath Flame. Advertise here. Ha. The figure hasn't appeared yet, but Shuhei's sharp laughter has spread throughout the battlefield. Quarrel. Looking at the figure gradually condensed in the wind and sand. Qingshan Ryuyun is a bit disgusted, this is too slow. Come out and fight one by one. As for wasting so much time. Thinking of this, Qingshan Ryuyun adjusted his breath slightly. Some faint red light flashed in the dragon scale tattoo on the body. Dragon breath. Boom. The dragon's breath flame with the aura of destruction suddenly rushed to the figure in the sand. What is this? So hot. The cry of Shuhei stopped abruptly, accompanied by the slightly panicked voice of Shuhei. Boom. The dragon's breath flame also has an explosive effect. With a roar, the figure of Shuhei was blasted out directly from the wind and sand. At the same time, Qingshan Ryuyun also stopped the dragon's breath. I was beaten out as soon as I came out. I have to say that this situation has greatly increased Konoha's confidence. Master Ryuyun is invincible. Sure victory. Long live Lord Ryuyun. Never mind that Qingshan Ryuyun is usually arrogant. But looking at Qingshan Ryuyun's appearance of Kamui, the ninja on Konoha's side cheered directly. This is a ninja. Others will not see how you are, only your strength. As long as you are strong enough, no matter how bad you are. No one would dare to say anything. Damn. Shuhei, who was blown out, said damn several times, and stood up again. A pair of coin's eyes, staring at the direction of Qingshan Ryuyun. Compared with the tens of meters high figure of Shuhei, Qingshan Ryuyun at this time looks very small. But no one can ignore this tiny shadow. As soon as I came out, I saw the target that I wanted to kill, so good. With a face like a monster, smiling grimly. Ha. Facing such a Shuhei, Qingshan Ryuyun chuckled twice, then suddenly laughed. Ha. The hearty laughter, and the cruel battlefield around, formed a sharp contrast. Why are you laughing? Such a smile made Shuhei a little impatient. What do you mean, being an opponent with me, still smiling so happily, do you look down on me? One-tail Shuhei. Ha. While laughing, Qingshan Ryuyun casually took the jacket and held it aside. The dragon scale tattoo on the body seemed to come alive, flashing a faint light from time to time. So handsome. Yekora, who is being held back by the Ino Shika Cho trio. After taking a side look at Qingshan Ryuyun at this time, he couldn't help but sigh. A good man is always easy to be noticed. Seriously. Hearing this, Luo Sha on the side raised black lines on his forehead. Did you know that this is a battlefield, you can actually praise your opponent for being handsome? Why don't you praise me? Yi Kang also realized his failure to say something, and quickly regretted his gaze. A mere human, are you looking down on me, Shuhei? Ha. No, it's just the first time to be an opponent with a monster like you, which makes me a little happy. Qingshan Ryuyun smiled and explained. A pair of dragon-shaped vertical pupils, looking at Shuhei with great joy. Happy. This guy, his brain is broken, don't you know what he's talking about? The laughter gradually disappeared, Qingshan Ryuyun grinned and looked directly at the tens of meters high Shuhei. Because it is more valuable only to defeat a monster like you. Just a mere human, go to death. What to say about defeating me, let me defeat you first. The voice of Shuhei sounded very sharp and harsh. Raising the monster-like arm, he slammed it down in the direction of Qingshan Ryuyun. Boom. A tail beast that is about tens of meters away, even if it is a simple action, is a disaster for most people. The palm of the monster suddenly landed on Qingshan Ryuyun's position. There was wind and sand all around. You guy. Shuhei's copper coin eyes shrank slightly. Because Shuhei felt that there was a strange force under his palm, and he steadily caught it. Raising both hands, catching the arm that Shuhei smashed down. Qingshan Ryuyun laughed loudly. As this Shuhei? Not so much. Go to hell. There is a limit to despise yourself again and again. Great breakthrough of infinite sand and dust. Shozuru is the one who knows the most ninjutsu among all the tail beasts. Boom, 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 while the wind and sand are sweeping. Shuhei's arms are constantly smashing towards where Qingshan Ryuyun is. Go to die, go to die, go to die, go to die. An angry and sharp voice filled the entire desert. On the mother-in-law side of Chio who was using puppets to contain her feelings. After glancing at the angry Shuhei, with a mocking smile, he looked at Tsunade. It looks like your man is going away. The mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations had already investigated Qingshan Ryuyun as the man of Tsunade. I thought that this would make Tsunade angry to the point of saying. Unfortunately, Tsunade punched back and flew away the puppet who wanted to get close to him. Taking a look at Morzuru who was in a runaway state, Tsunade smiled disdainfully. How could the man my old lady likes be defeated so easily? The man who wants to defeat the old lady, a mere Shuhei, is not enough. Tsunade is full of confidence in Qingshan Ryuyun. Tsunade's reaction caused the grandmother Chi's generation to frown. Qingshan Ryuyun's strength is unknown to the 1,000-generation mother-in-law. Is there any whole card? Yin. Just when most people thought that Qingshan Ryuyun would die in the hands of Shuhei. A dragon roar spread throughout the battlefield. This is dumbfounded. Witnessed by countless pairs of eyes, a dragon, no less in shape than Shuhei, roared out of the wind and sand. First, he caught Shuhei's arm. Afterwards, dragon breath. In a state of complete beastization, Qingshan Ryuyun's dragon's breath rises in power. The explosion of dragon's breath flame enveloped the entire guard crane. Chapter 19 But lousy. The strongest creature. Advertise here. Boom, boom, boom. In the dragon's breath flame, the explosion sound is continuous. It can be seen that in this flame, the figure of Shuhei is constantly struggling. I want to escape, I want to resist, but it's very difficult. The figures formed by the sand are almost showing signs of collapse. Putting away the dragon's breath flame, the dragon flying in the sky, a flick of its tail. I just guarded the crane and went out. At the same time, the figure of Shuhei also collapsed directly, turning into a piece of sand. Shuhei. Defeated. How can it be? Who is that guy? Compared to Konoha's cheers, the ninjas of Sand Shinobi village are a little unbelievable. The monsters that they have always believed in as disasters were defeated in such a simple way. It's incredible. Now I look at the dragon flying above the clouds with a distance of tens of meters. Everyone was a little silent. What is this thing? Ha, ha, ha. In the desert, strong winds are blowing. The endless wind and sand began to gather again. Soon, Shuhei's figure recovered again. Shuhei is an aggregate of chakra, it is impossible to die, at most it is sealed. Shuhei, who reunited, has no longer the arrogance he had before. Watching the dragon flying in the sky, Shuhei's eyes of a pair of coins clearly flashed with jealousy. You guy, who the hell are you? This kind of thing is definitely not a tail beast. When did a new species appear in the ninja world, and in terms of strength, it is not weaker than the tail beast. Ha 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 ha, Shenlong spoke. What came was Qingshan Ryuyun's voice. This is me, this is the real strongest creature in the sea, land and air. The mere beast. Dissipate it to me. With a roar, the dragon flew down from high altitude and rushed towards Shuhei. Don't underestimate the tail beast. As a dignified one-tail, Shuhei also has his own arrogance. Even if he knew the strength of the opponent, Shuhei would never, just concede defeat in vain. Pung, pung, pung. Between Shuhei and Shenlong, there were deafening explosions. I saw that Shenlong fell from high in the sky again and again. Dragon claw, dragon tail, constantly banging on the tail beast. Shuhei's newly condensed figure was shattered again. Damn it, a pair of copper coin eyes, staring at the dragon above the clouds. Kin. Around Shuhei, there suddenly appeared some physical chakra visible to the naked eye. Constantly gather in front of Shuhei, forming a chakra energy ball. And as more and more chakra gathered, this chakra energy ball is constantly changing. Tailed beast bomb. Qingshan Ryuyun floating above the clouds, after seeing Shuhei's movements, a pair of beast pupils flashed clearly. It seems that Shuhei has nothing to do. Even the most whole card tailed beast bomb is used. In that case, how could Qingshan Ryuyun choose to avoid it? While guarding the cranes to gather the tailed beast bomb. In the clouds, the dragon's mouth began to flicker some flames. Go to hell. Tailed beast bomb was successfully condensed, and Shuhei roared in a harsh voice. Blew the tailed beast bomb in the direction of Qingshan Ryuyun. Dragon breath. Boom. Without any meaning to avoid, Qingshan Ryuyun used all the power that can be used at this stage. The constant roaring dragon's breath flame blasted towards the tailed beast bomb. The scorching flame will transform the already hot desert. The temperature increased by a few minutes. The dazzling light caused the people around to avoid it. I am the strongest creature. Seeing tailed beast bomb still stalemate with his dragon's breath, Qingshan Ryuyun roared. The power of the dragon's breath flame increased again. It directly covers the entire tailed beast bomb. Nani. Shuhei on the ground was a little surprised. He even used his whole cards, but couldn't he play it? But the reality is that tailed beast bomb was shattered. Without hindrance, the dragon's breath flame once again enveloped the entire Shuhei. Boom, boom, boom. In the flames, bursts of explosions continued to come. What? I can still see the struggling voice of Shuhei. But in the end, Shuhei's voice became lighter and lighter until it disappeared completely. After the flames dissipated, there was no more Shuhei here. Obviously, he was completely defeated. But the tail beast is immortal. I believe that it won't be long before the show crane will be resurrected somewhere in the desert. It's just that if you want to seal the show crane again, you need people from San Shinobi village. Moreover, Show Crane was defeated, as Jinchuriki's part of the blessing naturally disappeared. It seems that San Shinobi village not only needs to reseal the Show Crane. I also need to find a new Jinchuriki. How can it be? Third Kazekage was a little shocked. His ultimate weapon of ninja village just failed. Looking at the dragon in the sky. The figure that covers the sky and the sun makes people feel like they cannot fight against it from the bottom of their hearts. Call. Not far from Third Kazekage, Hitaki Sakimo, who was a little tired, adjusted his breathing slightly. To be honest, facing an opponent like Third Kazekage, even Hitaki Sakumo is a bit tired. Of course, Third Kazekage is not much better at this time. His body is large and small, and many scars have been cut by Hitaki Sakumo. Your Excellency Fengying, have you decided to surrender? The one-tail Shuhei as the ultimate weapon is gone. The failure of San Shinobi village is already foreseeable. Third Kazekage also knows this. But let Third Kazekage just admit his failure like this, it's still a bit unacceptable. I'm dignified Third Kazekage, don't you want to lose face? A man who deserves to be an old lady. On Tsunade's side, seeing that Shuhei was defeated, he smiled happily. Hey, old lady, continue to fight, your San Shinobi village will be no one. Now Konoha's advantage. Tsunade was talking, but he was not at all polite. Chapter 20 Top Conquerors Haki. Advertise here. The mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations did not speak. Just controlling the movements of the 10 people in Jinsong, they stopped. Turning his head, he looked not far away, Konoha's White Fang who was facing Third Kazekage. A gleam of hatred flashed in his eyes. Puppetry attacked the sword. A row of shurikens connected by the chakra line under the control of the mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations flew to Hitaki Sakumo at a fast speed. Tien Shou feet. As soon as she saw the mother-in-law's movements, Tsunade rushed over. One foot fell heavily on the ground. Hung. The cracked sand blocked the shuriken controlled by the 1,000 generation mother-in-law. You guy, do you still want to continue fighting? Raising his fist, Tsunade looked at the grandmother Chiandai angrily. I thought the mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations was really ready to die and break the net. Humph. The mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations snorted coldly, and uploaded a series of bang. Boom. Boom. The sound of. I saw that the 10 people close to Songshan had been retracted back into the scroll. Call. The 1,000 generation mother-in-law can stop here, Tsunade can't help but feel relieved. Really scared. A 1,000 generation mother-in-law will be so angry that she loses her mind and chooses to die. Single quote. After taking one last look at Hitaki Sakumo, the grandmother 1,000 generations looked back. He still failed to avenge his son and daughter-in-law after all. But the mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations knows that if she continues to fight, she will become a sinner in San Shinobi village. Even if you don't care about prestige. But for the future of San Shinobi village, the mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations stopped here. At the same time, the Inoshika Cho trio also stopped their movements. The young people now are really scary. Looking at Luasha and Yikang in front of him, Naradir couldn't help but sighed for a long time. Yamanaka Keiichi and Akamaiki Dingza on the side nodded involuntarily. This is not a mockery. It is indeed Nara Lujo's truest thought. You know, their generation of Inoshika Cho can be said to be the best. In the case of teaming up, even the top cage level players can deal with it. But even so, facing Yikang and Luo Sha at the same time, it still feels very tricky. Humph. Yikang didn't feel anything, but Luo Sha let out a cold snort. In the face of Nara Shikahisa's evaluation without any advantage. Rosa only felt very harsh. At this time, the gazes of all the ninjas in San Shinobi village were tacitly looking in the direction of Third Kazekage. Morale is so low that it can't be lower. It's denying losing, it can only be said by Third Kazekage. If Third Kazekage does not admit failure, even if he knows that he will continue to fight, he will not be defeated. But these San Shinobi will still choose to continue fighting. Fists clenched tightly, Third Kazekage was a little speechless, so unwilling. Obviously, all the power of San Shinobi village has been assembled, but why has it failed? Is it true that your own San Shinobi village is really inferior to Konoha? Why are you still going to continue fighting? At this time, Tsunade, the commander-in-chief of Konoha, also walked over and looked at Third Kazekage mockingly. Don't be too much, no matter what, I am also the Third Kazekage of San Shinobi village. Whispering sound. He curled his lips. Although he was a little bit disdainful, Tsunade still did not choose to continue. Yin. Just when the atmosphere is deadlocked. In the sky, Qingshan Ryuyun's dragon chant suddenly came. What's wrong? Everyone looked at the sky curiously. At Sand Shinobi Village, I thought what happened to Qingshan Ryuyun. When he was fighting with Shuhei, Qingshan Ryuyun was also injured. Without waiting for them to rejoice, everyone felt that there was a heavy weight on their shoulders. No one knows. At this time, Qingshan Ryuyun's mind is echoing the system prompts. The fit reaches 70%. The advanced Conqueror's Haki evolved into the top Conqueror's Haki. The previous battle with third Qingshan, coupled with the fact that I have just defeated one-tail Shuhei. The fit of Qingshan Ryuyun has increased to 70%. Conqueror's Haki has also evolved to the top. The sudden increase in strength caused Qingshan Ryuyun to growl. Yin. The roar of dragons kept coming. I saw that in Qingshan Ryuyun's twin dragon's vertical pupils, scarlet rays of light began to flash. Centered on Qingshan Ryuyun, an invisible force spread to the battlefield. With the overlord aura, even third Qingshan and others felt suffocated. What kind of power is this? Can a person's aura really reach this point? No, that guy seems to be a real monster. This guy has become stronger again. On the contrary, Tsunade and others, who were still a little worried, all smiled. It's easy to see. Such a roar is because Qingshan Ryuyun's own strength has increased a lot. What a monster. Even Hitaki Tsukumo couldn't help sighing with emotion. As we all know, when a person's strength reaches a certain height, it is already very difficult to make progress. How is it like Qingshan Ryuyun, which changes every day? It's just that Hitaki Tsukumo sighed like this. It makes Tsunade on the side look dangerous. Dare you say that the old lady's man is a monster? Hitaki said he was wronged. Take a good look at that guy in the sky, why doesn't he look like a monster anymore? Of course, Hitaki did not dare to say this directly to Tsunade. Afraid of being beaten. Boom. Suddenly, someone fainted to the ground because he couldn't hold Qingshan Ryuyun's Haki. Like a reminder signal, beginning one after another, some people are in a coma after all. Under the control of Qingshan Ryuyun, these fainted to the ground are all ninjas from Sand Shinobi Village. Seeing this, how could third Qingshan continue to be silent? Enough. Stop. I have ninjutsu in Sand Shinobi Village. Even if it is not reconciled in my heart, compared with the future of Sand Shinobi Village, third Qingshan still chose to give in. The dragon in the sky gave a snort of disdain. The figure began to fall from above the clouds. Chapter 21 Ninja World War. End. Advertise here. The figure still shrinks. Soon it became Qingshan Ryuyun's original appearance. Boom. After falling on the ground again, layers of wind and sand were set off. Be handsome. Qingshan Ryuyun raised his brow lightly and looked in the direction of Tsunade. I wanted to see Tsunade's little admiring gaze. But unexpectedly. Being handsome deliberately, you don't want to find another woman. While speaking, Tsunade's eyes flashed dangerously. Quote. Qingshan Ryuyun did not answer, but looked at Tsunade rather speechlessly. Still unreasonable. This is just a joke. After all, it's still standing on the battlefield. Qingshan Ryuyun and Tsunade did not continue to say anything, they all looked in the direction of third Qingshan. Although a little unwilling, third Qingshan sighed and continued. This war, Sand Shinobi Village lost, the war, let's stop here. After saying this, third Qingshan felt somewhat relieved in his heart. This damn second ninja battle is finally over. The 1000th-generation mother-in-law who has already walked over, with a calm face, stood by the side without saying a word. After third Qingshan finished speaking, he looked at the Konoha group in front of him and scanned for a while. The most important thing is Qingshan Ryuyun. It was this previously unknown strong man who changed the final course of this war. According to third Qingshan, if it weren't for the combat power of Qingshan Ryuyun, defeated them Sand Shinobi Village's ultimate weapon, one-tail Shuhei. The final result must be their Sand Shinobi Village winning. Unfortunately, there are not so many ifs. Withdrawing his gaze, third Qingshan turned around and was about to take his person from Sand Shinobi Village and left. I've already lost the battle. Instead of staying here is a shame, I might as well leave early. Hey, looking at the back of third Qingshan, Tsunade called out directly. Don't forget the decisive time and go to Konoha to discuss compensation issues. Konoha is now the victor, and everything he says seems very confident. Humph. Third Qingshan gave a cold snort, did not answer, just accelerated the pace of leaving. Tsunade smiled disdainfully. This is the so-called strongest wind shadow in the history, I don't think so much. Next, after all the Sand Shinobi Village ninjas left dejectedly. On the entire battlefield, there are now only Konoha shinobi led by Qingshan Ryuyun and Tsunade. Everyone's eyes. They all looked at the commander-in-chief of this battle, Senju Tsunade. Everyone, waving his arms and shouting. To meet everyone's gaze, Tsunade laughed and roared. We have won. When the voice fell, all the Konoha shinobi, all boiled. Victory. The war is over. We Konoha won. Go home. I can finally go home. After so many years of fighting for the second ninja war, it is finally over. Some people were happy and cried directly. An atmosphere of joy filled the entire battlefield. The people in Sand Shinobi Village just not far away can still hear Konoha's cheers. Compared with Konoha's cheers. As the loser, Sand Shinobi, one by one, all dejected. Not only was defeated, but even the fighting spirit was defeated. What frustrated. At this time, only 3rd Qingshan, as the commander-in-chief, is qualified to stand up and reinvigorate morale. Although we failed this time, we are still alive. Sand Shinobi village still has hope. One day, Sand Shinobi, we will definitely defeat Konoha. 3rd Qingshan will never admit it. Sand Shinobi, who is in command, will be inferior to Konoha. Yes, although the effect is not very good, it is still a bit useful. At least the frustrated people, at this time, have renewed their determination. Yes, they are still alive. The future is still full of hope. Master Feng Ying. When 3rd Qingshan nodded in satisfaction, Luo Sha on the side suddenly said, as if thinking of something. 3rd Qingshan turned his head and looked at Luo Sha. Master Feng Ying, discuss compensation with Konoha next, let me go. It's definitely impossible for 3rd Qingshan to go to such a discussion. Unrealistic. Let 3rd Qingshan, the master of Sand Shinobi village, as the defeated party, go to Konoha to discuss compensation issues. Isn't this the same as sending Sand Shinobi village's face to Konoha fan? Although 3rd Qingshan cannot go, the status of those who go to negotiate cannot be too low. Among the new generation of powerhouses, Luosha and Ye Kang are the ones most in line with this point. Ye Kang had no idea. But Luosha had some careful thoughts. This matter is not dangerous. It's a vain opportunity to make merits, if you don't go for nothing. Quote. 3rd Qingshan did not speak, but took a deep look at Luo Sha. As if I could see Luo Sha's careful thoughts. Luo Sha is thinking about the position of the wind and shadow, and 3rd Qingshan has known this for a long time, but she doesn't care about it. It's good to have a dream. Only when you have a dream can you know how to become stronger. 3rd Qingshan likes ambitious people. At this time, the 1000th-generation mother-in-law on the side said lightly. Negotiations are not for you, let Ye Kang go. Ye Kang was still a little confused when he was named by name. Ye Kang didn't know the stakes involved. If Sand Shinobi village had to negotiate on his own, Ye Kang would not refuse. Luo Sha looked at the mother-in-law of the 1000 generations viciously. Luo Sha had long noticed that this old fellow valued Ye Kang more. Unexpectedly, now he would stand up directly and speak for Ye Kang. Luo Sha was a little unwilling. But compared to her status, Luo Sha really dare not say anything to the 1000th-generation mother-in-law. It was 3rd Qingshan. After hearing this opinion, he glanced at the mother-in-law of the 1000 generations faintly. If I remember correctly, after this war is over, you have no rights at Sand Shinobi village. Similarly, there is no right to participate in the recall discussion. This is the condition that the mother-in-law of the 1000 generations agreed in order to get 3rd Qingshan to agree to continue the war. Give up all your power in Sand Shinobi village. Chapter 22. Are you bullying? Advertise here. The old man knows what he is talking about. The grandmother 1000 generations narrowed her eyes and glanced at 3rd Qingshan. There is no flicker in the eyes. Just no. 3rd Qingshan is really afraid that the mother-in-law of 1000 generations will fall back. After all, 3rd Qingshan really can't have a temper if it's reckless. In fact, after experiencing the demise of his son and daughter-in-law, the mother-in-law of 1000 generations has no idea of continuing to fight. If possible, the mother-in-law of the 1000 generations only hopes to stay in Sand Shinobi village in peace. For daily tasks, just teach little Sasori. The old man just thinks that Elos's temper is not suitable for negotiation. After saying this, the 1000 generation mother-in-law didn't say much anymore. Just walk on the side quietly. Why do you say that I have a bad temper? Luo Sha pointed to the 1000 generation mother-in-law unconvincedly and shouted. Quote. The people around couldn't help but flip through Byakugan. Just like that, you still dare to say that you have a good temper. Okay. 3rd Qingshan waved his hand, interrupting Luo Sha's desire to continue the argument. Master Feng Ying. In Luo Sha's opinion, at this time, the mother-in-law of the 1000 generations has no rights anymore. Although you need to respect each other on the surface. But inwardly, Luo Sha already disagrees with the 1000 generation mother-in-law. But for 3rd Qingshan, Luo Sha still respects him very much. In Luo Sha's view, 3rd Qingshan could stand up and confront the grandmother of the 1000 generations. Obviously, I value myself more. Master Feng Ying, don't worry, I will definitely have a good talk with Konoha, and strive to get more benefits for our Sand Shinobi village. Luo Sha made a vowed guarantee on her face. 3rd Qingshan, who is on the side of the ear, is a little speechless. Who said you want to negotiate? 1000 generation mother-in-laws can see Luo Sha's temper, how could 3rd Qingshan not see it? I said that before, but I just wanted to let the 1000 generation mother-in-law understand. Now Sand Shinobi village, it's his 3rd Qingshan who has the final say. As for supporting Luo Sha, 3rd Qingshan flipped a Byakugan in angrily. You guy, don't just make up your own brain casually. Let you negotiate. I'm afraid it's not just talking, let's go to war again. On this point, 3rd Qingshan's views are similar to those of the mother-in-law. The steady Ye Kang is more suitable for this. Yi Kang. Thinking of this, third Cage turned to look at Yi Kang. In the next few days, I will trouble you to visit Konoha. No problem. Yi Kang nodded decisively, it was just a matter of negotiation. For Sand Shinobi Village, Yi Kang doesn't mind making trouble for himself. Quote. But Luasha on the side was a little embarrassed. Under what circumstances, isn't third Cage supporting itself? Why did you find Yi Kang again? Noting the changes in Luasha, and keeping the idea of not being biased against one another, third Cage came over and patted Luasha on the shoulder. Don't worry, I still have more important tasks, I need you. Yes. Not daring to hesitate, Luosha hurriedly responded. Shuhei needs to be sealed again, then you can go with me. Luasha's placer gold is heavier than ordinary sand. I'm very restrained from guarding the crane. This. Luosha was a little silent. Reseal the tail beast. It sounds more important than the task of negotiation. But it's even more dangerous, that's one tail Shuhei. Not to mention that you will die, but you will definitely be injured when the time comes. Why, you don't want to? Third Cage narrowed his eyes and looked at Luosha. No. Luosha shook his head quickly, joking, in front of so many Sand Shinobi, how could Luosha dare to speak directly? Not to mention, thinking about it this way, third Cage is willing to take himself to perform such a dangerous task, it must be because he values himself more. Thinking of this, Luosha immediately became energetic. It's very hopeful that I will become the next Feng. Suddenly, Luosha looked at Yi Kang with a triumphant look. Look, in the eyes of Master Feng, I am more important than you. Single quote. Single quote ? Single quote. But Yi Kang didn't know Luosha's thoughts. Seeing Luosha raising her eyebrows, she thought she had any thoughts about herself. Hastily retreated to the side with a bitter cold. Quote. What do you mean, dislike lousy? Dislike lousy so much? I'm going to run away. Hello. Yi Kang didn't care about Luosha's inner thoughts. Instead, he thought that he would go to Konoha next time. At that time, I will definitely see that man again, right? Yi Kang's little heart is beating a little abnormally. The figure with the Haki dragon scale tattoo is still in Yekora's mind, lingering. What's wrong? It was a 1000-generation mother-in-law, who seemed to see Yi Kang's panic and asked curiously. It's nothing. The fantasy was interrupted. Yi Kang, who noticed the surrounding situation, shook his head quickly. Just because of the battle just now, I received some injuries. Really? Then I will go to have a good rest. The mother-in-law and others didn't doubt anything, and nodded. There was only Luosha, whispered in a low voice. As this hurt, it's really weak, I really am more suitable for the position of Feng. Quote. Brother, what's the matter? Third Cage, who was walking by the side, flipped Byakugan in angrily. Knowing that you dream of becoming Feng. But I haven't stepped down yet. Now you are directly in front of Lousy, saying that you are suitable for the position of Feng. What do you mean? Look down on me, third Cage. Right here at Sand Shinobi Village, when discussing post-war matters. Konoha. In this temporary camp, Tsunade, as the commander-in-chief, directly organized a celebration. Take out all the materials prepared in advance. Let everyone eat and drink, and go back tomorrow. I thought that this battle would take a while. I didn't expect this to end on the first day. It's a pity, I thought I could beat people more. In the camp, Tsunade, drinking wine, said with a pity on his face. During the war, ninjas can't drink. For Tsunade, this is almost like farting. When did my Tsunade be a rule-abiding person? Chapter 23. Are you well known in Konoha? Advertise here. In the camp, in addition to Tsunade, there are Qingshan Ryuyun and Hatake Shumao, and the Ino Shika Cho trio of Narashika. Except for Tsunade and Qingshan Ryuyun, two unruly guys drinking. Hatake Shumo and others at the side were drinking tea honestly. For Tsunade's side, Hatake Sakumo and Naraluku flipped a Byakugan together. It's really violent. It is estimated that in Konoha, only Qingshan Ryuyun can control Tsunade. Naraluku and Tsunade's relationship is so-so, it's hard to say anything. But Hatake Shumao has no scruples. He laughed and joked. If you want to fight, you can find your man. I believe Ryuyun will be able to fight for you. Quote. Tsunade didn't speak, but just glared at Hatake Sakumo. The old lady wanted to fight, but she didn't want to be beaten. How could Tsunade not know? With Qingshan Ryuyun's strength, he slammed himself firmly. Speaking of it, how come I have never heard you say that you can become like that? Although Qingshan Ryuyun has shown the power of half-dragon before. But this is the first time that the complete dragonization like today has been shown. You didn't ask too much. Shrugging, Qingshan Ryuyun, who poured himself a drink, said casually with a full face. For their own strength, Qingshan Ryuyun never concealed anything. Basically you asked, I just said. I'm not afraid that others will be targeted for this. Just kidding, I'm the strongest creature in sea, land, and air, and the thing I'm most afraid of is being targeted. Of course, if others don't ask, Qingshan Ryuyun will not appear boring and tell others about his abilities. Tsunade is a bit dumb, and it makes a reasonable explanation. But it turns into a dragon directly, so powerful, even Shuhei is not an opponent. Hatake Tsukumo on the side after hearing such words. Even if he knew that Qingshan Ryuyun still hides his strength. But after seeing it, Hatake Shumao was still taken aback. Is this amazing? Holding the wine glass, just suffocate it. Qingshan Ryuyun raised his eyebrows, smiled lightly and looked at Hatake Shumao. You will see even more powerful in the future. Just kidding, Qingshan Ryuyun's complete animalization is not the strongest state yet. At this time, the template fit of Qingshan Ryuyun only reached 70%. Can't use the power of this monster species devil fruit perfectly. When the fit improves in the future, Qingshan Ryuyun's strength will become even stronger. Can it be stronger? Qingshan Ryuyun's words made Hatake Shumao and Naruto and the others stunned together. No one meant to doubt. It's just that the evaluation of Qingshan Ryuyun in my heart has improved a bit. In the ninja world, people with strength are always recognized, let alone recognized. In addition, Qingshan Ryuyun doesn't care about talking about his own abilities. Let Hatake Tsukumo and Naruto have a feeling of being wooed. Come on, keep drinking. Good. All night, this temporary camp was immersed in a cheerful atmosphere. Good. Konoha at this time, in the Hokage building. Although it is midnight, it is still brightly lit. Looking at the information in his hand, uploaded from the battlefield, Sarutobi Hiruzen was full of joy. The war was finally over, Sarutobi Hiruzen's heart relaxed a bit. Originally, Sarutobi Hiruzen felt that this war would be fought for a while. But I didn't expect that the war would end on the first day. Not only defeated San Shinobi village, but also ended the second long ninja war. So good. These are all Konoha's excellent ninjas. It's just that, looking at the news that Qingshan Ryuyun turned into a dragon and defeated One-Tail Shuhei. This made Sarutobi lower his eyebrows for a while. Has it grown to this point? The growth of Qingshan Ryuyun is so fast. It's only been a long time since the tail beast can be defeated. Fine. The only thing Sarutobi Hiruzen feels fortunate is that Qingshan Ryuyun has nothing to think about. Although I like challenging the strong, it's not really ambitious. Of course, it's not without trouble. After all, boom. Just as Sarutobi Hiruzen's thoughts were flying around, the door of Hokage's office was directly pushed open. Danzo's figure walked in from outside. Hiruzen, have you seen it? News of the battle between Hatake Tsukumo and Third Kage. I thought I would tell myself something about Qingshan Ryuyun. But I didn't expect that he actually talked about Hatake Shumao. Although puzzled, Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded. What's wrong? Don't you think that after experiencing this incident, this Konoha's White Fang's reputation in Konoha has surpassed you and me? Danzo sneered. Quote. Sarutobi Hiruzen did not speak. Just looked at Danzo suspiciously. It's almost beyond me. Beyond you. Do you have any reputation in Konoha? Hiruzen. Danzo is not a fool. When Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at him with such a look, Danzo instantly understood what the other party meant. Waiting for Sarutobi Hiruzen with annoyed eyes. Sorry. Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled awkwardly. Hatake is a good Konoha shinobi. Sarutobi Hiruzen replied faintly. This is the answer given by Sarutobi Hiruzen. I realized that Sarutobi Hiruzen would say so. Danzo didn't care at all. Instead he laughed. Do you think that with the relationship between Qingshan Ryuyun and Hatake Shumao, if something goes wrong with Hatake Shumao, Qingshan Ryuyun would just look at it like this? Danzo never, because Sarutobi Hiruzen would be a good person. If Hatake's reputation really grows to an uncontrollable level, Sarutobi Hiruzen will definitely do it. But now, with the existence of Qingshan Ryuyun, the situation is different. You know, Qingshan Ryuyun never abides by the rules. Annoyed him. I really dare to chase Hokage in front of all Konoha shinobi. Humph. Think about it. Seeing Sarutobi Hiruzen like this, Danzo knew that his purpose of coming here was achieved. After speaking with a sneer, he turned and left. Sarutobi Hiruzen is left alone, thinking silently. Chapter 24. If you say that, we are good friends. Advertise here. In the land of fire at this time, under the leadership of Tsunade, the ninjas in charge of this battle began to return to Konoha in an orderly manner. When compared, that kind of solemn atmosphere. On the way back, the atmosphere in the crowd was very relaxed. After all, they agreed to the battlefield, and they had nothing to worry about. From time to time, I can hear the voice of some people talking. For these, Tsunade didn't care about it. Can't you talk about it after winning the war? Tsunade itself is not a serious person. Qingshan Ryuyun, who was next to him, first glanced at his current character template, and then smiled with satisfaction. God-level template system. The first template. Four Emperors Kaido. Fit. 70.5%. Template ability. Advanced Armament Haki. Advanced Observation Haki. Top Conqueror's Haki. Devil Fruit. Bloodline. None. Quote. This time, the biggest gain is the power of Conqueror's Haki. Promoted to the top. Speaking of which, do you want to continue to fight with the tail beasts? Single quote. Thinking inwardly. In fact, Qingshan Ryuyun did not expect that defeating the tail beast would actually increase so much fit. Thinking of this, Qingshan Ryuyun thought of the current Nine Tails Jinchuriki, Uzumaki Kushina. Looks like it's still in Jonan's school. Find a chance to slap her in the past, simple. Uzumaki Kushina, who is still attending a ninja school. I don't know yet, I have been targeted by Qingshan Ryuyun. You didn't mean it on purpose. At this moment, Qingshan Ryuyun's soft voice suddenly came from the side of Qingshan Ryuyun. Withdrawing his mind, Qingshan Ryuyun looked at Tsunade suspiciously. Intentionally what? Of course it is deliberately and generously to speak out their abilities. Qingshan Ryuyun himself still has some doubts. But Tsunade seemed to notice something. First, he glanced at Hitaki Tsukumo and Nara Shikahisa who were not far away. I looked at Qingshan Ryuyun with a face that I had seen a long time ago. In this case, you can harvest the kindness of Hitaki Tsukumo and Nara Shikahisa. Tsunade found out a long time ago, after experiencing Qingshan Ryuyun's unabashed statement last night. Whether it is Hitaki Shumao or Nara Luju, seeing Qingshan Ryuyun's eyes, they all recognize it even more. Hitaki Tsukumo will not talk about it. The name of Konoha's White Fang is not a joke. Although Nara Luji is not as strong as Hitaki Tsukumo, his position in Konoha is completely different. The Ino-Shika Cho tribes are linked together. Again the faithful Hokage faction. The Nara family is rich in talents with high IQ, and the Nara family basically manages Konoha's medicines. The secret technique of the Yamanaka clan is most suitable for interrogation. The Akamiki clan's technique of making Bingliang pills is the best in the ninja world. And most of Konoha's yakiniku businesses are owned by the Akamiki clan. In front of Qingshan Ryuyun, Tsunade doesn't need to care about anything. I directly talked about the stakes of Hitaki Shumo and Ino-Shika Cho in Konoha. Qingshan Ryuyun was stunned at first. But the more I listened, the stranger Qingshan Ryuyun's face became. The brows were all raised. Does that mean that I don't need to pay any more when I go to the Akamiki family's rotisserie in the future? Quote. Tsunade was a little silent. The old lady said so much, did you realize this? Moreover, when you went to the barbecue restaurant, you never paid for it. Because the sound did not converge. Qingshan Ryuyun's words were also heard by Akamiki Dingza not far away. As the contemporary patriarch of the Akamiki clan, Akamiki Dingza still doesn't mind. If Ryuyun-kun goes to the Akamiki family barbecue restaurant in the future, they can eat it for free. Akamiki Dingza gave a silly smile. Although it looks silly, but if it's really stupid. Then how could the Akamiki clan have been passed down from the Sengoku era to the present? Compared to the money for barbecue, it's more beneficial to the family to befriend a strong like Qingshan Ryuyun. Ha ha ha. Upon hearing this, Qingshan Ryuyun laughed directly. I walked to the side of Akamiki Dingza and hugged Akamiki Dingza. Although Akamiki Dingza is much better than most ninjas. But compared with Qingshan Ryuyun, it still looks a little small. From now on, you will be my good friend. Lousy's friends who can make me eat without paying are Lousy's friends. Ha ha. Akamiki Dingza also smiled. However, the appearance of being held on his shoulders makes Akamiki Dingza somewhat uncomfortable, but it is hard to say anything. Yamanaka Keiichi and Nara Shikahisa on the side. They all glanced at Akamiki Dingza with admiration. Ino-Shika Cho Tribal Alliance. Akamiki and Qingshan Ryuyun made friends. It also means that the Ino-Shika Cho tribes have friendship with Qingshan Ryuyun at the same time. In this situation, Tsunade on the side could not help but sigh. Sure enough, my old lady is thinking too much. Qingshan Ryuyun didn't have the plan to calculate so many things. It should be just a coincidence. When Tsunade leads all the ninjas back. As Hokage's Sarutobi Hiruzen, he has led all the ninjas and has been waiting here for a long time. The patriarchs of the ninja clan in Konoha came over to greet them with face. Okay, I really deserve to be my disciple. Seeing Tsunade walking in, Sarutobi Hiruzen stretched his brows and smiled happily. First praised Tsunade for a while. Then he glanced at the rest of the ninjas, all of them glanced. You, all Konoha's heroes, solemnly. In the eyes of others, Sarutobi Hiruzen is like a good Hokage who has dedicated himself to Konoha. I have to say that Sarutobi Hiruzen's acting skills have won the admiration of many people. Some people are even more moved and cry. For Konoha. For Konoha. For Konoha. Chapter 25 Oh Roar. Don't be afraid of me anymore. Advertise here. On the way to the Hokage building. There will be some civilians on the side who are talking about it. Look, that is Master Qingshan Ryuyun. It looks amazing. I heard he was the one who ended this war. Bravo. No way, walking with a group of thin people. Qingshan Ryuyun is so burly, it's really unique. Especially the special dragon scale tattoo on the body, and the confident smile on the corner of the mouth. A kind of masculinity rushed to the face. None of these discussions have converged. Not only Qingshan Ryuyun heard it, but even the others on the side heard it. What to do? I really want to marry him. So handsome. The sudden argument made Tsunade, who was following Qingshan Ryuyun, suddenly raised his eyebrows. Turning his head and looking at those little fans who are staring at Qingshan Ryuyun with their faces full of admiration, Tsunade smiles very dangerously. At the same time, Qingshan Ryuyun deliberately made Laozi look fierce. Glared at these people. Unfortunately, if it were before, these people would probably be frightened back and forth again and again. But with the halo of heroes of Konoha, not only were those people not scared. On the contrary, I seem to like it better. So fierce, more handsome. Ah, I like it. Master Ryuyun, I want to marry you. Some brave people shouted directly. Withdrawing his gaze, Qingshan Ryuyun couldn't help scratching his head. Well, how do you feel that my majesty has become lower? I'm not afraid of myself anymore. What's going on, little girls? You are not afraid of me anymore, so Laozi is very dumb. Hey, you shouldn't be happy at this time, right? Tsunade on the side, after hearing this, flipped a Byakugan angrily. So many little fans are clamoring to marry Qingshan Ryuyun. It would be weird if Tsunade had no idea. Are you jealous? Qingshan Ryuyun looked at Tsunade in surprise, but unexpectedly, Tsunade would be jealous. How is it possible? My old lady won't be jealous. Tsunade turned his head decisively. Said that he did not want to entangle with Qingshan Ryuyun on this issue at all. Ha ha ha. Qingshan Ryuyun laughed loudly after seeing Tsunade like this. He directly raised his hand and took Tsunade's shoulder. A little cute. Little Tsunade. Call me that again and beat you up. Ha 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 ha. Seeing the interruption between Qingshan Ryuyun and Tsunade, everyone around them smiled kindly. In the crowd, except for those who tout Qingshan Ryuyun. There are also people who tout Hatake Shumao. I heard Lord Whitefang this time, but it has dragged third cage. What's holding it? It's obviously defeated. I feel that Master Whitefang is fully qualified to be the next Hokage. Other touted, Sarutobi Hiruzen just smiled. But when I heard, someone actually said that Hatake is fully qualified to be the next Hokage. The smile on Sarutobi Hiruzen's face became a little stiff. Fortunately, Sarutobi Hiruzen's castle was enough, and he quickly recovered. Others didn't notice, but Danzo, who was walking next to Sarutobi Hiruzen, noticed. It's the same as I planned. Hiruzen, to shut up. Danzo just wanted to say something, but was directly reprimanded by Sarutobi Hiruzen softly. Shrugged, Danzo didn't continue to say anything. After the war, those ninjas who came back from the battlefield, and their family Danzo. Of course, as for those who lost their families. There is no way. After all, this is the cruelty that belongs to the battlefield. No one can guarantee it. I can survive the war steadily. Tsunade, Ryuyun, and everyone. You are all Konoha's heroes. In Hokage's office, Sarutobi Hiruzen exclaimed. No matter what, at least as a Hokage, the superficial effort must be enough. About the next negotiation. At Sand Shinobi Village, ninjas will be dispatched in a few days to come over to discuss negotiation issues. After getting a definite answer, Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded with satisfaction. It just so happened that Konoha also lost a lot in this war. It happens to be able to make up for something through negotiation. No way, who makes Konoha the winner? As for the negotiation, leave it to us. At this time, Udatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura stood up together. After all, it is Konoha's elder, it is impossible not to do nothing. Did not have the guts to rush to the battlefield. But in Konoha, it is still possible to negotiate with the defeated side. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded after sinking for a while. I can see that Udatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura just want to attack, such a small thing, there is no way to refuse. Others won't say anything, but Qingshan Ryuyun is different. After noticing Udatane Kaharu's little proud look, Qingshan Ryuyun turned directly to Byakugan and said. Hey, let you go to negotiate, I'm afraid it's not that you can't talk about anything. Qingshan Ryuyun's contempt, but it didn't constrain at all. Especially since this Hokage office is so big, everyone has heard it. Qingshan Ryuyun, don't think that if you win a war, you will be lawless. Qingshan Ryuyun again. Udatane Kaharu stared directly at Qingshan Ryuyun. I was despised once before. Now again. If you admit to counseling again, then you, the elder, will be shameless. Is not it? Others will take into account the identities of these people, but Qingshan Ryuyun alone will not. Just like you, it's great to deal with your own people. Dealing with people from other villages is all to the bone. Let you go to the negotiation, you can talk about it. This is the truth. After becoming elders, Udatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura, large and small, were responsible for many negotiations. But no matter who the opponent is, whether it is weak or strong. At the end of the negotiation, there is always no clue. It can only be said that there is no loss, but Konoha can't make any profit. I have to say that Konoha can have Udatane Kaharu and Mitokado Homura, two Crouching Dragon and Phoenix Chicks, which is also amazing. It is strange that the future is not decayed.